Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome to the official Gunnaz podcast live. You know what I'm saying? Gunnaz podcast live. Listen, you see, this hosting job, people, has taken me far and wide. I'm employed by the Gunnaz YouTube channel right now, so I'm a host. But it is what it is, people. Big up on yourself. Welcome back once again on this fine Friday evening. Gunnaz, how are you doing? How is everything with you?
Go on in, bro. From a long week of work stressed me out the week, dog. No jokes, bro. Because
Yeah.
but the only for things that me in the week we can talk about, and we just want to cover a few things as well. So, yeah, man, big up.
Definitely.
People, as in the partner of the stream, just remember, wanting to comment, like, share, subscribe as well if you haven't as yet. You can't comment unless you subscribe. I'm going to turn on the subscriber button. So if you want to share your thoughts, just subscribe to the channel. And remember to hit the like button so you can get to more people. You see me? Because that's the main here. You see, pretty. Also, if you enjoy the show today, you can feel free to send us a super chat if you so feel like to do so. You see me? Go through, person.
Definitely. So quite a few things to talk about, as you know, football in recent days has brought forward many topics, right? Leon Bailey creating history. That is something within itself that we have to discuss. We're also going to talk about Cavalier, as they would have faced off against Inter Miami yesterday last night, and they gave a good account of themselves. So we're going to talk about that, give our thoughts, basically a match review and player ratings. And I think the biggest news of all is the Mason Greenwood news, as he switched allegiance, or he's starting the process of switching his allegiance from England to Jamaica. And the big question, or the $1 million question that everyone is asking, is when will Mason Greenwood suit up for Jamaica, or lace up those boots in a Jamaican jersey and finally represent Jamaica, seeing that all is said and done with England, right? Anything else that we have to discuss? Shamar Nicholson.
Shamar Nicholson as well. So, yeah, man, we could just head straight into it. We want to discuss Boyz and his time in Tijuana, because him start off, big up yourself, J Bash, because him start off kind of shaky. Never did a tear up trees. The team looked like they never did really see him to understand his style of play, right? But over the past two games, they lost one and they won one. However, Boyz has performance improved drastically, and the team seems to have, because they made a whole lot of signings. They made 9 signings in the January transfer window, which would be at the start of their season, because they're only 5 games in or 6 games in, right? So they made a whole lot of signings, and naturally it's going to take a while for them to fit in. However, they have lost 4 games, and they've won 1. However, those games that they've lost were very tight games. So you can see that even if you watch them as well, we at 10 o'clock in the night them play, so you have to stay up late if you want to watch them. But if you do watch Tijuana, you can see that they really have a pattern, they have a style. It's just a matter of when these players click, they will start performing. But off Tijuana and into wipe on that still, but over to Shamar, right? Because Boyz
Before I go to Shamar, right?
Yeah, go through.
In terms of Tijuana, I mean, will the signings ever click? Because it is very important that they click, in the sense that, looking at the history of this team in the last couple of seasons, right? I don't think the Mexican League looks like it them have relegation, as to what me say.
It's just like MLS.
Yeah, so the last couple of seasons them finished relatively like 16th, and in them type of position there. And now looking at the table, them play 10 games so far, them have like 8 or 9 points, and they're in 18th position, I believe it is. So I mean, what's the ambition of this club? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the ambition would be to finish into the knockoff rounds, because it is a tournament where the top 10 qualify to the next stage, which would be the knockout rounds, where the one section of the league will face the next section of the league, right? And then not that far off the top 10. If you look at, let me just go on Tijuana right here and go at the table, make you guys see. Both aside, even with all the bad results that they have been having, if they win 3 games or go unbeaten for 5 games straight, them back in it, right? Chivas is in 10th place. on 14 points, and Tijuana is in 7. They're in 16th place on 7 points. Right? So that's a 3-game swing. See, if I believe if they can go on a 5-game unbeaten run, then they would find themselves in the top 10. So I think that is the aim. They want this farm sheet where you see right here, so to drastically improve from the L's to wins and draws. And the moment they do that, then they have a chance. See? Also, the season is early as well. So it's all to fight for, bro. I don't think it's too far stretched since the season just started. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you make a good point in that. But as I said, like, I'm not really familiar with the signings that they make more than just Shamar Nicholson himself. And as I said, looking at the history of the club, the last couple of seasons them finished really, really low in the table, So if the ambition is to propel themselves or put themselves in a position of going into a playoff spot, then hopefully that can happen because, for Shamar Nicholson, I think the last thing that you want to do is play in a league like this where there's no relegation. So, like, your team just finishing at, you see me saying it's like acceptable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, if you look on it, them team now perform that badly, right? To me, just by watching them, because I've watched enough games, I think I just click them need to click. And once them click, you're going to see a better showing from them in the second half of the season. But look at their top line. They're getting goals from all around the pitch, right? Midfield, back line. Them a top line of fire. Zine. And they aren't leaking a whole lot of goals per se to say, they might concede a whole lot, right? So, yeah, bro. I think they're going to make the top 10, I'm not sure, but I think they're going to make a good run for it.
I just 17 games I'm playing a season.
I'm not sure if I one time them play for twice. We'd have to find that out. One thing I like the fact say, the Boyz are gone at the league still, bro. Honestly.
No, look on the table. Last season, every team played 17 games.
17 games? Yeah. Well, they have to pick up the pace quick then, bro.
Yeah, they have 7 more games to play.
To qualify for playoffs, that low, brother.
And this season, everybody played 10 games so far.
Yeah, bro. But last season, it said them finish. The last season table is. Last season, them finishing at the top 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, is that them start off, them end the season poorly, but they managed to make it in the top 10. So he went to a team that is expected to make it into the top 10. So hopefully once them gel, they can meet those expectations. But that's it for Boyz. I have nothing else before we move on to Bailey.
Well, in terms of Boyz, like, the last game I believe him play or so, or one of his more recent games, him score what? 2 goals, I believe.
And one in get an assist in the last game, but the game before that, them win 4-2 and get 2 goals and 1 assist with a 9-5.
Yeah. So in terms of him, Boyz in recent times has always struggled in terms of like scoring goals, and that's due to the fact say him not really get a lot of game time, and even him get the game time, it's like he's just not on form. You know what I mean? So regardless of the league he's in, once he's scoring, because that is a bread and butter as a striker. The fact that he's scoring is only good for Jamaica as we play St. Vincent in those 2 games later in March,
Yeah, man. Now, maybe just move over to Leon Bailey, as you guys all know. We're not going to spend too long on it. We just want to big him up. I never thought both say we're not big up Bailey and this and that. But yeah, he became the first Jamaican-born player to score in the knockout stages of the Champions League. And a lot of people would have said, well, Wes Morgan scored before me. I'm going to say, Baby scored for both. I'm not sure about the one there still. But we know Wes Morgan scored already as a Jamaican in the Champions League. However, he was English-born. So Leon Bailey did make history being the only or the first Jamaican-born player to score in the Champions League. So I'm just going to big up Leon Bailey for that. Also, in more the same pickup form, but 2 back-to-back over 7.0 ratings as someone to look up to. What do you think about that?
Well, first Jamaican born that plays for the Reggae Boyz. Yeah. But in terms of the performance against Club Brugge, as I've said it before, Leon Bailey, or I said it recently, Leon Bailey would be no stranger to Club Brugge itself, Obviously, he would be a stranger to the current team because, he left Belgium for a couple of years now. But in terms of Club Brugge itself, he would have played against them, the club itself, and whatever the case is. And it was a good performance for Leon Bailey. Off the back of the performance, everyone was talking about Leon Bailey. But to me, all sins are not forgiven as yet in terms of the poor season so far by Bailey, and the fans of Leon Bailey, predominantly Jamaican people, I've seen where they try to use this performance to kind of rubbish the other poor performances to make it seem like this performance broad brush every other performance, and we should just focus on this one. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, Leon Bailey just have to pick up from now and be consistent, because you have a player like Marcus Rashford that is there, and Marco Asensio. Just recently in January, Villa would have looked to basically ship him out on a loan. You know what I mean? If the transfer window was a bit longer, then maybe he would have been at United at this moment in time. So performance-wise, he kind of need to step up the performances more consistently if he's going to remain at Aston Villa. But the performance was good still.
Come on. And you're right, because the fact that he needs to step up is understated, bro. Because 1 goal and 2 assists, starting majority of the games as well. That no look good. You see, bro. I think he had 2 goals in the Champions League, so you can add that to 3 goals, 2 assists. So it no look good. 22 goals in 142 games for Villa, 39 in 156 for Leverkusen. For the national team, 5 in 32. So yeah, bro, I really need to step up.
And then again, how I think we should have a discussion about how do we judge Leon Bailey like moving forward, especially like for the national team, because we have 2 important games coming up in this month, right? What is the expectation for Bailey in those 2 games?
Bro, I have to see something. Like a goal contribution is a must, right? We need to see him impact the game in a positive way. We need to see her win penalties. We need to see her get assists. We need to see her get goals. We need to see her make key passes that lead to goals. We want to see them thing there from Leon Bailey for the national team, right? And it's rare recently that we're seeing it, even with Aston Villa, right? It was a good goal, a well-taken goal, but that not take away from the fact that majority of the time he's been pitchy-patchy throughout the season, right? So, yeah, big up for the performance here, but especially leading up into those games against St. Vincent. We're supposed to expect for getting new players as well and see new faces, which should help in terms of quality, especially in that midfield. But no, man, we need Bailey to perform, especially against St. Vincent, bro. If McClaren decide to start a strong squad, a strong team that the qualifiers there against St. Vincent, we'll have to see someone from Bailey, bro. After St. Vincent, the man nobody pay a whole Buckley and Bailey, brother. You see me? So, big up to Bailey still for the piece of history we make. And yeah, we can move forward into the Inter Miami and Cavalier game. You have nothing else to say about Bailey before I move?
No, as we said, we're just coming in for the performance, but even for the 2 games coming up, definitely a goal contribution. I mean, come on, St. Vincent, so hopefully we get a goal contribution.
Bro. So I just move over into the Cavaliers game, What do you think about the game itself before we get into the stats, bro?
Well, I did do a live show yesterday and I did kind of pull up a video clip with the assistant coach of Cavalier talking about the fact, say, based on their assessment, them can match Inter Miami like pace for pace, right? And he did mention the age of some of the players, the Busquets and Alba, and how they would have tried to like get at those players, which I think they did. Now, I must apologize to the coach of Cavalier, the assistant coach, because I think he was right in that sense that they could not say nullify, which they did nullify them to an extent, but they did take advantage of certain weak points with this Inter Miami team. Now, I wasn't of the notion that Cavalier was going to pick up like a 6 or 7. What I will say is if Messi had played in that game, then the dynamic of the game for me would have been different. You know what I'm saying? Messi would be a player where he would be really hard to handle. Not sure if King and these Leng guys could have dealt with Lionel Messi. However, he didn't play, so I really want to dwell upon Messi too much, right? But in terms of the performance and how Speed set up the team, them playing on the transition, down that right-hand side, down that left-hand side, utilizing the wide areas, I think they did well for themselves. And I think the first half obviously was a better performance than the second half with Cavalier, They scored a goal which was disallowed due to offside. They had a one that come off the crossbar or the post or whatever, and then there was this next opportunity where he kind of come across the face a goal and somebody tried to get on the end of it. I believe it was a striker, which would never get on the end of it. Yeah. So you see them create 1 and 2 opportunities, which was in the transition they hit them on. You know what I'm saying? Other than the free kick itself, those other opportunities would have been on the transition. And one thing I must say is that they weren't starstruck by Inter Miami. In terms of how they played, it wasn't like, oh, this is an MLS team. Oh, this is Busquets. Come see man lay down tackle upon Busquets. Me see man rough up Luis Suarez. I've seen Inter Miami against MLS teams, and them MLS team that move weak. Make Suarez and Messi them have all the freedom them in the world. And how Cavalier play them, they nullify them to an extent. And I think the game plan was executed well. And I believe that Cavalier at least did deserve a draw. You know what I mean? But it never happened, so.
And the thing is, bro, you have to give them props, not only for the performance, but just the manner. They weren't phased. 20-year-olds, and you have the chance to play against the legends. We know enough of them goodly and support Barca. Suarez, I grew up and watch them man there, bro. And them no phased at all. See? Imagine, compare that to when Jamaica play against Argentina a couple years ago. And see how Damian Lowe and the rest of them man, they are in front of the Argentina ball them. And them are real seasoned professionals. Right? Brother, I'm gonna like see them thing there, bro. So I have to give what them name? Cavalier props, bro, for them performance. Them execution kind of did off because if them finish them chances, them could have 2-3-0 up before Inter Miami even get a son of the game, which would be a real shocker.
Yeah.
What do you think about the offside goal?
Well, so I'm not really see back a video yet still. Whenever I like see back
a
video.
It's a free kick, Zine. Now, the goal itself, perfectly good goal, no offside. What was the problem was whether a Cavalier player interfered with play. So, imagine you have a free kick from the throw line, you whip it in with an in-swing, Zine, and one Cavalier player jump off of the ball, in front of some of the Inter Miami defenders, and they deemed that the intent of him going towards the ball, throw them off, and that make the goal score. Zine, now I disagree with it. You know why I disagree with it? Because the way of the ball, they whip with curl and pace, and the positioning of the defenders. Even if that Cavalier player did not go off of the ball, then they did not show with the delivery there, bro. No Inter Miami defender that they near. The one, first of all, the wall with back post. And it whip around them. Even the Cavalier player try to go off like the ball beat him easily. See? 67 minutes it take them to check that offside. Not because the goal was offside, it was a perfectly good goal. The ball whipping back post, Richard King, play it off, cross, the face of the goal in left foot, and Stein tap it in. See? Richard King was not offside from the play, and I him the ball pass to. And the pass from Richard King to Stein was onside as well. So the goal itself, perfect goal. And them spend 67 minutes I try to decide if the next Cavalier player interfere with the game, bro. Brother, it's plain and simple.
Well, now that me think about it, I remember the play and I remember the delivery. And as I said, the ball did beat Inter Miami well, right? Are good enough. Now what I will say, the offside kind of weird to me because I think it reminds me of an incident with United a couple years ago. We played Everton down Everton yard, and I think it was David De Gea, one of these keepers in goal. And Everton, they would take the shot, right? And like the Everton player, I remember he never make an attempt, or something like so. I remember what. But he did score and them did rule it out as offside. And I think David De Gea was at the club at that time. You get me? I say? And for me, with the offside in terms of interfering with play, shouldn't it be around the fact that if a player makes an attempt that would like throw the goalkeeper off or something, I say you would have deemed it as offside because that attempt would have swayed the keeper somewhere else. So that initial offside, if it did sway the keeper to an extent where, but then again, the goal that was scored, even that attempt that was made, that not nothing to do with the keeper because that could have never influenced his decision because the ball come across and then it go back across and then Cavalier score. You get me? I say?
The defenders demonstrate to interfere with, which is stupidity. It's a stupidity. The only way it can interfere the defender is if him touch the ball. Everybody go off of the ball in the box, So as a defender, you automatically have a thing say the player who go off of the ball is in an onside position. So I'm gonna call that interfering with play, bro. Because remember, you're stationary. So your job as a defender is not for watch if other man offside. Your job as a defender is for watch your line and watch the ball. Now if the ball they whip over and beat you, you can't tell me say somebody else when they try to go off of the ball and it beat them to interfere the play, brother. It was a brilliant ball where we passed the whole of them, brother. Not in the ball and they're nowhere near Inter Miami players. If you remove that Cavalier player, realistically and logically speaking, no Inter Miami defender would be able to get that ball before it reached Richard King when he tap it across. See? So, brother, it's pointless. Big up yourself, monster. I'm just get J-Bosh comment here. If it was any other team that would get it because the Miami player not even move. So how him interfere with the Miami player and him not even close to the player for jump and interfere the play. Which is when I say the ball no with nowhere near the Inter Miami defender. Way over back post the ball with brother. And the Cavalier player jump. Zine him jump for try get it. Him not get it. Him not interfere with the play. Because the only way him can interfere with the play is if you can definitively tell me say if him never jump, the ball that go directly for the Inter Miami player head or near an Inter Miami player. And because him jump, it kind of throw off the Inter Miami player, which was not the case. The ball goes so far from the Inter Miami players that they could not do anything about it even if the Cavalier player wasn't there, which in my opinion would mean that he did not interfere with the play. No, going into a broader scheme of things now, when I try to show you, bro. If it was Inter Miami scored that goal, I'm sure them not check that for 6 minutes, bro. It almost felt as if them are trying to find every possible way to rule out this goal here because Cavalier cannot and must not kick out Messi out of this competition because they know them not get the money if Cavalier go in over Inter Miami, bro. You see me? That is how it's a corruption where they feel like. And as some man with that bet on the match as well, bro. You see when some of my friend them bet for Cavalier win. And you see when the Cavalier goal score, brother, everything lock. Everything locked, brother, because the away goal rule is so important and the way of Cavalier did that execute them game plan. Everybody did afraid if Cavalier did score, even if them go back home with a 2-1 loss, them still have kind of an advantage because of the way them did that play. They're more accustomed to the stadium field pitch. Inter Miami might struggle on that pitch. See? And the counter-attack football and the play where them did that make could have easily win them the game, bro. So
big up Jason. Let me take Jason comment because Jason comment kind of fear. Jason said the offside player does not have to interfere with an Inter Miami player. He only has to make a clear attempt to play the ball. So I guess you can see it as well. You know, like me analogy them, but I guess you can see it as like attempted murder. You never murder him, but you attempt to murder him, so you still get charged with attempted murder. You get me? I say so with the outside now, you're in an outside position. All right, your intention is to score. You're in an outside position. You attempt. Yes, it might never do nothing to the keeper or whatever the case is. You never swim decision or anything because the ball they come across and then come back across and then them score. But I guess Jason comment kind of makes sense in the sense that
bro,
the fact they make attempt.
To me, Jason comment makes sense when it's not a set piece. See, when it's in play, if you clearly that look on the you remember when on play City and one ball played through with a man with offside right around the corner. I don't remember if Rashford or Bruno dink it over Ederson head. And it was clear, say one of them did in an offside position. Something like that, bro. I remember. You see if it's open play, yeah, bro, a whole trap on the top. You see if I open play, we can understand that, bro. But for a direct free kick, you have to tell me, say, just because me jump for go off on this ball and I have there's no possible way I can get this ball that I jumped after. You have to tell me, say, you have a rule that goal become offside? Come on, brother. The man that is nowhere near the ball. Say, I tell me, say, even my offside, I can't jump. Even the ball is nowhere near me, I can't jump.
But let me ask you this. Do you think
if that was the case then, why them take so long to rule out the goal? If that was the case, them take 6 minutes to check it over and over and over, and then 1 more minute to send the referee to the monitor to make the decision for himself for an offside call. Why them send the referee to the monitor for an offside call? Why? Because them want the referee to make the final decision on whether the player interfere with play or not. Because if it was where Jason Gunnaz say, they would have just disallowed the goal, they wouldn't need to send the referee to the monitor. But the only reason why a referee gets sent to the monitor for offside is because the VAR cannot definitively say that a player interfered with play or not. So the referee needs to make that decision as the chief officiator of that game. The goal itself was perfect. Otherwise, VAR would have just draw the lines and just call offside. But that was not the case. The point was whether the player interfered with play or not, which is why the referee ended up going to the monitor. What do you say about that, person?
Let me tell you. You see the offside business nowadays. You see offside and handball and them type of thing that the rules of the game. I nearly like getting to it because the rules change so much over the years that sometimes I not even know what is an offside, right? I'm gonna say that we say every time that I've watched football recently, there's an offside given. Everybody have it for say the team that it goes against. Oh, that's not offside. They get me, I say, and I feel like we're getting into a place where it's like we're a bigger goal just because of Cavalier in the sense that is a poor team compared to Inter Miami. Not poor financially, but just poor in terms of quality.
No, I need to beg it for real, bro. Nah, I don't talk. We beg it.
Exactly. So I believe that
someone that beg it. I see someone that beg it for Arsenal. I see so.
Yeah, everybody do that.
You don't understand the game itself. Prig up, brother. It offside. Remember just admit it offside.
Right.
But me I tell you, dog. You see, if it was Inter Miami, it would have give us offside, and that me I try to tell you, bro. You know, look for me and tell me, President. You know, see some suspect decisions that they come.
But why it takes so long to say offside? That's what I'm telling you. Like, me feel like the conversation.
Night, bro. That's
what I'm saying. Me feel like
what me I try to say, bro. I'm gonna tell me say there's no conspiracy, and I have to disagree with that, dog. Because you tell me that there are no, but look how much suspect decisions. I mean,
what I will say, I believe
tournaments in Miami.
I will say if it was the other way around, I believe that the goal would have been given. I don't believe that the referee would have went to VAR and be like, oh, let me check if there was an interference with player, whatever the case is, because we've seen it even in the Premier League where a City score a goal, for example, where it's suspicious, and them give City, and when a team score a goal similar to that against City or one of these big teams, then they don't give that decision. You know what I'm saying? So I agree that if it was the other way around.
Well, when me I tell you, bro, you see the goal the Cavaliers concede first. Look at the ball. They had to check if the ball is go away off of Suarez, you know. Not when they keep a tip it on the post, but when the ball boom, they need to check if that go away, brother. I'm gonna see them take so long to check if the ball go away, and that looks suspect in everybody in the stadium. I say, yo, the ball look like it gone, you know. And the man them check that easy breezy, quick and fast. And they have to spend 7 minutes to decide. If the rules were so straightforward, people in the comment section, Eddie and Jason. Alright, we admit, based off of the rules, it is offside. But if the rules were so straightforward, why do they have to bring the referee to the monitor to make a decision for himself when it's an offside call? That means there's some subjectivity after the night. The rules aren't black and white. There is a gray area if you have to send the referee there. And what is that gray area? The gray area is whether the player really interfered with the player or not. See? Otherwise, then obviously if him jump off of the ball, he interfered with the player, and then could have given the offside. It's not black or white, and that is the problem with football. That is the problem with these decisions in football. And like goal line technology where you know say, yo, yeah, this. See? It's not black and white. There is a gray area. We have to say about that. I'm going to try so we can get some call. I mean, I drop the link, people. JC can call you.
Yeah, more you Jason.
First, what you have to say about that?
No, I mean, it's an offside. Know that I remember the play, right? And as I said, I feel like we just a bigger goal at this point in time. Like a lot of people saying that it's not offside due to the fact say it's a poverty club in a Cavalier. We support Cavalier, seeing that we're Jamaicans. You see me? I say, but if it was, I guess it wasn't clear and obvious. That's why the referee go to the monitor. You know what I'm saying? Because how much people have now the VAR room?
But how can what you say? And that is the problem, clear and obvious. The fact that the referee have to go there means that there is subjectivity to the matter. Offside not subjective. You're supposed to have a clear outline on what offside is. That way we're not going to debate, we don't even argue. Right? Referees don't normally need to go to the monitor to run outside. But the thing is, when you're a referee, right, sometimes you have to use discretion and them type of thing. So even though you have the rule book, it's like sometimes, all right, you would want to say it clear and obvious, or whatever the case. Just like a tackle, for example, a player will make a tackle, but what is the context of the tackle? You look at Bruno Fernandes against Spurs this season when Bruno Fernandes made the tackle, but him slipping up, and it ended up that him hit James Madison on him ankle area or knee. It was in the knee, like him grazed him this. But Bruno did slip. He made an intention to make a tackle. The intention was to make the tackle or try to win the ball, right? Him slipped and the leg kind of catch Madison, and it resulted in a red card, which United did. Appeal, and they rescinded it. You get me? So with the offside, it's like the referee being the official, the main man of the game. Maybe they said, listen, in the room, we see that there's a intention to play the ball or whatever the case is. No, this is our opinion.
but ultimately you can make the call on this decision. I think that is fair enough to allow the referee to go over there and see whether or not he agrees with them or not.
Why
Because
take 6 minutes?
we don't know at the end of the day. Okay, the 6 minute thing.
Why take them 6 minutes to send him to the monitor? Because otherwise, if you look on when they were drawing the lines were drawn very, very quickly. So the goal itself was a clean goal in that regard. Them check if Richard King was offside because I him the ball passed to. Them check if after Richard King passed the ball, Stan was offside, and everything was clear in that regard. See, that was a quick check. You can call it around a minute and a half check. See, but the rest of the time was them trying to figure out if the man interfered with the play or not. Jace Laguna, come in. You might muted. Be very opposite.
Yeah, man. Big up, Gunnaz, big up Presser.
Yeah, I'm not Arsenal fan, big up, you know.
Yo, you should take the big up now because Sunday, even though United usually turn up no matter what I go and say. Some of that even are going like the same United are going to turn up Sunday. But anyway, on the topic we are discussing now, look, I think the problem is the wording of that particular rule. It leaves some interpretation or too much interpretation in my eyes in terms of the fact that you remove any ability to just have a hard and fast rule the way how it's written, because it says, you know, if he's offside when the ball is played and he clearly makes an attempt to win the ball or play the ball, he can be deemed offside. But even after that, it even says, you know, but it's always of the discretion of the referee. So that little space that they leave open lends itself to an aggrieved fan saying it's a conspiracy. Because
and one question. No, they just on that specific point where you are making. Maybe we just rethink because we can't play it. Concacaf strike. But we'll just replay the situation, right? In order for you to make a clear attempt off of the ball, there has to be some realistic way you would be able to get that ball. So, for example, if a ball kick over a man and he jump off of the ball in the offside position, and there's no way the man could have get that ball, would you give that as offside?
No, I think you have to take into account how close the ball is to the player. Right. But I'm saying if you look at the replay again, obviously we can't see it now, but it had to be slowed down for it to be obvious that McClaren did not get a touch on the ball. Would you agree with that?
I don't think so. They were.
Right, so that's where you and I disagree totally, because it wasn't until I saw a few. It wasn't until I saw a few replays that I said, okay, he definitely didn't touch the ball. So because I have that thought in my mind from the beginning, I see where a ref could see that and interpret that he interfered with the play, because I had to see a slow down replay to know for sure if he didn't touch it or not. So the ball couldn't have been that far from him. Now, you are interpreting it differently. You're saying that there was no way he could have touched it. I disagree. I think if you watch that play again after this conversation, you will be looking with more scrutiny at what I'm talking about, and you will say, you know what? The ball really wasn't that far from touching his head, you know. Because if you remember, you know, one of the reasons why I even thought he might have been offside was because he was the only player of all those players that actually got to the line of the ball at the front post side. Right? If you look at all the Miami defenders, they're all behind him.
Right.
And he is actually almost heading that ball. So I am saying all right.
Yeah, all that thought. That is the next part where me I try to talk about. So because remember, if the offside are going to be in the play, if he was the only player we could have possibly get that ball before it reached Richard King, and based off of the trajectory of the ball, Jason, no Inter Miami baller, even if the man don't go off fight, no Inter Miami baller could reach the ball, bro, the way them line set and the way them move. The ball, they beat them dead and flat. So why that not coming to the referee interpretation? The ball dead and flat, the ball beat them, so there's no way an Inter Miami player could even reach that ball. The only way them could have tried to challenge Pete is when Richard King played back across the face of the goal, right? So to me, even if a Cavalier player, before the ball reaches to Richard King, makes an attempt to play a ball that the Inter Miami players clearly could not get to in that initial first phase of the pass, right? In can't offside. To me, the only way, right? You can offside is
it can be interpreted. But it can be interpreted by a ref. It can be interpreted by a referee that even though they couldn't attempt to play that ball when it was played across, a part of the reason why is there was a player from Cavalier in their way that was offside.
The ball there with too fast, with too much pace for it. That would have sound like the all right. This is a case, and then just because him do that,
okay, where did the ball pass McClaren over his head? Correct. All right.
And
so how is he not? How is he not in the line? How is he not interfering with the play if the ball literally goes over his head by a few inches?
I am a defender. You see, when me set my line, especially if you have free kick like that, I watch my line and I watch the ball. You see, if brother, even if the attacker say I go after the ball, me still put my head in the line of that ball, forget it. The ball beat the Inter Miami defenders. As a defender, I know when the ball beat the back line.
Yeah, but that simply means if the entire Miami line never get to the line of the ball, but that offside player did, then you can't penalize the defense for setting a good line.
No, but he never touched
Why would they ever play? Why would they ever play offside on a free kick then?
What you tell you? He never.
Yes, but that's not the rule. But you're talking about things that aren't in the laws of the game. I'm saying he doesn't have to touch the ball for him to be offside. He has to make a clear attempt.
Why take 6 minutes? Why take 6 minutes to get?
I think the reason why, and I said this earlier on a program when I talked about the same thing. I said we need to hear, because remember in the Copa America when Jamaica had a call that went against them, we didn't get much clarity talking about it. We got some clarity when they put out the conversation between the refs. I think without that conversation between the refs, we'll never understand why he went to the monitor. Because clearly when he was trying to explain what the play happened, they needed more than words to explain to the on-field ref what the call was. They had to show him. So I think we need to hear, so hopefully Concacaf will put out that conversation, because I think that will help us to understand why it took so long.
Because if the rule, my point is, if the rule is, I agree with you guys, it is the offside. But we still going to play devil's advocate. Because at the end of the day, that's not supposed to happen. Because when it happens like that, it leaves doubt in the fans' mind. And if you don't have transparency, then what is football? See? Because if that is the case where you are saying, then it's not supposed to take you that long to come to a decision on your own as VAR. And even if, right, you don't want to come to a decision on your own, you have to call the referee to the monitor way quicker than that, bro. The longer it goes, the more there feels as if there's doubt or you are not sure of that decision, right?
But the thing is,
you are not sure of the decision that you're making, they are going to question it.
We can disagree with how the referee interpret the rule or whatever, but at the end of the day, it is a rule, and like you said, it was offside. So my question is this: if the referee didn't go to the monitor and just said offside, would we still not be arguing and complaining about it anyway?
Not as much.
Not as much. You can't play the video.
No man, we don't want Concacaf strike. Them wicked in bro.
Concacaf no rum.
Brother, I'm beat copyrighted everything on every other channel I have, bro. But when it comes to Concacaf youth, we can't beat them copyright, dog. No matter what we do. So we just left that alone. People them can go.
Honestly, let me tell you.
Hold on, before you go, Presser. Honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves, right? The fact that we are having such a conversation that both of us can make valid points on, right? That should tell us why it took so long. Because it's not that easy. It's a difficult rule to actually interpret in real time. Like literally, I have explained what the rule is, and even though you have conceded that it was offside, it still don't leave a good feeling with you because of how the laws of the game is actually written. So I think I agree with you in the sense that can be worked on so that these situations don't happen in football. But if that's what the law is, I think they did carry out the law based on how I understand it when I read it. It makes sense that it would be called offside.
Let me just say this, right? Looking back, may I just show the picture up on the screen here?
Yeah, I'll show the picture.
All right, let me just show this. I agree with Jason going on. Well, we did agree before. Well, looking back, I definitely agree with Jason that it was an offside, especially the rule, like you have to make a clear and obvious, or you have to make an attempt. And the attempt that this Cavalier player would have made, right? Yes, he never touched the ball or anything, but the intent could have affected or maybe did affect play in terms of, remember say them saying that the outside rule, like the intention, if it affect like the decision of the goalkeeper or whoever, then it's clear and obvious. You know what I mean, Jason? And in terms of the free throw Omega show now, like when a ball is played across the face of goal, like across the ball and then you make that flick ahead of the, in terms of his attempt, yes, him never touch it, but still, like, that could have swayed maybe the decision making of the Inter Miami players or whoever, you know them with it?
Yo, man, name is super. Pressure, take over the show a little from them. Remember important call.
Yeah.
Yeah, even pressure, even Panda still shot there. It don't look like the ball touch him head.
Well, whether or not it touch him head, I believe
no,
just
but I'm just saying
oh,
the fact that that's so close. How can you say that he was nowhere near it? I think Gunnaz is wrong when he says that. That's all. Just look at that picture. It looked like it might have touched his head, it might not. You'd have to see it again in slow motion to know for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. But in terms of his intent to play the ball, listen, if the ball did work in this guy like 50 feet off of the ground or above him head or whatever the case is, then I wouldn't call it as offside because them way there, that's just something you couldn't, even though the intent is there.
The proximity matters. So the ball being so close to his head and that still picture right there should let you know that it was a clear attempt. I mean, if you look at that and you say that the ball never come close to touching him, then you just don't want to see the truth.
Yeah, I agree. So that's what I see. But in terms of your general thoughts on the game, as I mentioned before, I'm proud of the fact that Cavalier wasn't starstruck in this game. What do you think about the game?
Look, I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised at the first half, especially. I thought that when you look at the game plan that Cavalier employed, I thought it was a really, really good game plan because what they did was they knew that Jordi Alba was going to attack down that left side, and you could see there was a concerted effort to release Calvin on that right side. I think where they went wrong a couple of times, and you saw they were more effective when they were able to do this. I know that they knew that in transition they could get at Miami, right? Even said it in the post match. It wasn't counter attack, we're playing transition football, right? But I think where they could have been even more effective, there were some times I thought when they had the clearest opportunities was when instead of when they won the ball, like let's say in their defensive third, they would go directly to Calvin some of the times. And I didn't think that was as effective as them finding Reed or Allen and then combining once or twice before then releasing the player. I thought that when they did that, they looked way more dangerous. It was that they did that in the play when Calvin got slipped through by Atkinson and he just had a poor first touch and couldn't get off a shot. The same could be said when Calvin got the ball down the right-hand side and the cross ricocheted onto the post. If you look at how they built up those opportunities, they came after combining a few passes in the middle third before going with the direct diagonal. And I think if they had just a little more confidence when they won the ball to say, okay, yes, we know we want to hit them in transition, but let's wait until the transition is actually there to really hurt them. And I thought if they had a little more composure on the ball, they would have gotten even more opportunities out of that game. And I hope that they can look at that and analyze that for the second game, because I do feel like the way that Inter Miami play with the slow kind of methodical style, I think Cavalier can hurt them in transition, and they showed that they can.
And I think that is 1 second, person. I think that is go through. My mind black while ago, bro. Go through.
No, my dad said to Jason, you mentioned the word composure, which I think is very important, in those transitions in which they try to hit quickly, right? I think nerves did kind of take over in the sense that when you play a far superior team, right, you want to get up the pitch as quickly as possible and play the ball to your teammates as quickly, and sometimes you tend to kind of make those misplaced passes or don't put enough power on it. And on a couple of occasions against Inter Miami, on the transition when they made that final pass into the final third, I don't want to say them did rush it, but it's like maybe if they construct a few more passes, especially with Reed and those guys and Atkinson, them could have found a bit more. They could have found way more openings that would have allowed them more adequate time on the ball to have a shot and go, because in those couple of occasions in which those misplaced passes were made or quickly in the transition, you don't get enough time to kind of do what you actually want. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
another thing, just to cover more on the point where Jason Gunnaz said. You think, like when I was watching the game, I really thought that if Cavalier just had one experienced head in the midfield when it comes to knowing when to hold on the ball and when to release it on the transition, Inter Miami would have dead, bro, because they had a whole lot of chances. But because them try to rush it, or them try to play it one time on multiple occasions, if them did ever have that one link, man, we know how to just control the ball and pass. Like, they have a whole lot of people that can dribble with the ball. They have a whole lot of people that can drive with the ball on the transition. But if them they just have their one player there, bro, where they just experience enough to know and say, I go control this ball, I go turn, lift up my head, and then I go make the pass. Instead of as I get it, I go let it go. Would I say something different? But the more I think of that throughout the game, the more...
No, I was just going to say that's always going to be tough when you're talking about Cavalier based on
that's what we just did.
Team. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Exactly, which is what I just did. I said the more I thought about that in the game, the more I say, sometimes you just have to just give and take, man, because you can't be perfect all the time. Because if you put that experienced player on the team, you might not get as much defensively or much that you don't want to get from him. So I just want to talk to him with them heads. But if we get some comments in, first I'll take them.
Yeah, big up yourself, Jason. See you Sunday.
Yeah, man, dead.
It's like every Jamaican team have no midfield at club level and national level. Mirak said they have the link man on the bench, the Haitian, Chad, Milan. J-Bass Gaming say if them be just more calm on the final third, them would score. John Pale, big up yourself, him say that was where we started over Watson, but they are both 18 and 19 years old. So I guess the bit of inexperience played a part in the midfield or in the total game for Cavalier. But again, in terms of the overall performance, I am proud of the fact that they weren't starstruck. Then again, if Messi did up on the pitch, maybe that would have changed. Well, Messi would change the dynamic of the whole game. I believe that Cavalier would have been in way deeper problem. In terms of how they played last night, it was very fortunate that Messi never played. Get me? I say, now in the second game, looking back at the first game in which they would have played Inter Miami, learning what they have learned after 90 minutes, I think there's everything to play for in that first game. In the pre-match press conference, Javier Mascherano said that this is a final for them, right? They're looking at this game, the round of 16 as a final. And he said as the game starts, they're going to be on the offensive. I think that Mr. Speed should use that as fuel to the fire. And when the game is being played at the National Stadium, well, I don't want to say be on the offensive straight away, right? But you need a goal in that first half. Because to me, this Inter Miami team, if Messi doesn't play, they're there for the taking. And I believe that Cavalier can cut.
That's just right. I think Cavalier did need the away goal, bro. Because even if they get that first goal, the away goal still have to beat them. Because they're going to need 3 goals to win that match.
Yeah, but them can score 3 goals.
Brother, them have to beat Inter Miami by 3 clear goals.
Yeah, them can do it.
By 3 clear goals? Kishan, come on, brother.
People, listen.
I remember away goal ruling. So
listen, for me see it.
Bro, them can't beat the Inter Miami team by 3 clear goals.
For me see it right now. Listen, but listen. If Messi no play, let's say Messi no play, right? So Messi no play. Maybe if them can beat them by 3 clear goals. And the reason why I say it is, listen. Me just look at this from the standpoint of an upset, and this is football. Like, we can create history. We can create history, people. Like Cavalier just have to go there with a fighting spirit. And we need to pull off a Liverpool versus a PSG. Plus the fact say the goalkeeper need to be brilliant and them need to score 3 goals. And nullify PSG from not scoring.
Guess what? You see, watch it, like, you see, even if them score 3 goals and Inter Miami get 1, them gone. Why? Away goal rule.
No, but if it's 2-2, them get back in at the tie.
Yeah, but me I say, bro, it's not only a matter of them scoring. If them concede, them dead in the show, because then there's no extra time. The only way extra time can happen in an away goal rule setting is if you match the result in the past game in an opposite way.
No extra time.
So the only way it can go to extra time or it can go to straight pens is if Cavalier wins by 2-0.
But pre this, Jason Gunnaz, there's no extra time, right?
But what I'm saying, hold on, it can happen for them win by 2-0. But what I'm saying is, if Inter Miami score 1, the tie is done. Because then, them can't even go to extra time or penalties. That's out the window. They have to go beat Inter Miami by 3 clear goals. Which means they have to go win the game 4-1. And Cavalier is not going to beat Inter Miami 4-1. So that's what me I try to say to you, bro. Wait, no one member just finish out. That's what me I try to say to you, bro. You see me? Because, yeah, see, basically when me I say if them get one goal, that is the reason why Cavalier didn't need the away goal, brother. And if they did have the away goal mode, I back them fully for come and upset Inter Miami at the National Stadium if Messi was not there. However, they never get away goal rule, and I can't see them stop Inter Miami from score 1. And if Inter Miami score 1, they have to win that game by 4-1, and that now, my brother.
Let me say this. Cavalier have to find a way. You see, this is why like most of Jamaican fans did actually love football to the point where we have some fireworks and them type of thing there. You see me? I don't know if the man them can bring 2 machines at the stadium and show so as them like make sure as them don't say, yo, a bad man face then in Kingston today. You see what I say? But what I try to say is, bro, if the crowd can be at least hostile in the stadium, which it's not going to be, right? But at least if them cheer and them have a look chant and sing to song, whatever the case is, right? I believe like they can make it a very difficult game for Inter Miami. Listen, we've seen teams play far superior teams before and nullify them to the point where them not score, right? So it can be done. It can be done. You have teams that are not as superior to other teams and them nullify them and them hold them out and them beat them and them cause an upset. So I'm just looking at it from the standpoint that this is football. The ball is round. They're coming at home. National Stadium. An upset can happen. 2-0, 2-2. You bring up penalties. Maybe Suarez miss kick or whatever the case is. And that's Cavalier advancing to the quarterfinal. So I'm not looking at it from the standpoint of, what can they do tactically, or are the players good technically? No, me throw that out of the window. Me just look upon it from a standpoint of this is football and an upset can happen. So me see it.
Brother, the only way that's going to happen is if them get couple injury or if them get couple stomach bug, brother. That would be a pre right now, brother. The hotel people them fear work. You see me?
I mean, Arsenal and Spurs. No, which team it was a couple years ago where
Spurs, man.
The pizza thing? No, the food poisoning.
Spurs, man, when them make top 4 and them get stomach bug.
The food poisoning or whatever the case is,
I just one of them thing there. I one of them thing they alone can save tabs. Because I can't see them and stop the man them from score. And if them score the game done, Cavalier now win 4-1, brother. Worse if them score 2. The one them should have cut out away goal rule, brother. That done long time, bro.
Yeah,
it makes second legs less exciting, dog. I have to way more forget something out of the game, bro.
All right. It's not about instigating foolishness. This is football. You turn non-believers into believers, bro. You know much look at team go play a big team and say, yo, I go beat them. Them just have a feeling. And it happen. So it's not football, bro. Sometimes you just have to be delusional and things happen, brother. You get me? Obviously,
the thing is as well, I feel Cavalier can beat them. Cavalier just now go advance. See? Cavalier, we go beat them 1-0 or beat them 2-1, but them just now go advance to the next stage. But even if Cavalier does beat them, it would be historical. It would be a very great achievement. They would have improved from the last time. Because them get 6-0 on aggregate the last time. Them get too much. 2 over yard and 4 over broad. So it would have been a very, very good improvement on Cavalier, and you have to give Mr. A coach Concacaf a license in props. Yes, bro, because it showed, right? Because before I did that interview with him, he was at a Concacaf B license class. You guys could see it in the interview as well. And when I listened to some things where he must say, bro, and when they really made it, bro, a coaches win football matches, in a modern day football, Coaches win football matches in modern day football. As much as teams might have brilliant players, etc., coaches and their decisions that they make in games win football matches and give teams a chance to compete at the highest level. And I think the coaches of Cavalier should be applauded for the way they got the team to set up, buy into their plan, and almost put it into play. See? So, yeah, bro, big up to them, coach there.
And big up to the commentator as well. He was very, very knowledgeable about Cavalier. He had high praises for Riddle speed, and I kind of find that good in the sense that you have a lot of these people where them don't really show smaller teams that type of respect, or them where they do adequate research. So I was kind of, as a Jamaican, really kind of proud of that in terms of like the commentators singing high praises for Riddle speed and them type of thing. The people might look at it as like, oh, it's nothing, but to me, it is something. As a Jamaican, it is something that the man go out there and doing research and a lot of us have different opinions and speed. But listen, that wasn't a game about JFF or who's the chairman of the technical committee or whatever. That was Rudolph Speed, the coach of Cavalier, and he did set up his team well. Yes, they'll never get the result that they would have hoped for, but at the end of the day, I think many people watched that game and they would have been proud of the performance because many people had to say that Cavalier are going to pick up 7 and all them type of foolishness there. So again, in my opinion, if Messi had played, the dynamic of the game would have changed. However, he will never play, so I'm not going to really get into that, the if, buts, and maybes. You see me, I say? So, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, that was it for basically the review. The match is going to be next week, Thursday, I believe. National Stadium, Udede. I buy the ticket already just in case when I get the media pass, but I'm supposed to get the media pass. Hopefully, Messi forward. Yeah, that's what I need for doing that, bro. But we'll move on to the next topic, which is Mason Greenwood. Right now, as you guys see in the title, I see a man cuss me off in the title, but when I put in the title before the show even start, man even understand me, I said the man start cuss me off. I'm seeing him can pull up the comment. Because the title says, don't get excited. Mason Greenwood mom still needs to sign. Now the person coming at the comment section and the man say, yo, what's your problem? You're so negative against Green coming to Jamaica. It coming like if he finally come, he would have dropped down. People, anybody who follow my channel know say I'm a huge advocate of Mason Greenwood to Jamaica. Right? So let me see them comment here. But just have a laugh, bro. Now, when more I get into this article written by the Athletic. Right? Mason Greenwood formally, when I see the screen?
No.
You know I see the screen?
Yeah, for sure.
It a share, father, not share. Yeah, coke in the youth. People, when I see the screen, let me know in that comment section.
I mean, put it on the screen.
Oh, okay. I said 2040. So Mason Greenwood formally requests international switch to Jamaica. English FA chief says. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys not to get excited is because this is not anything new. From last year, Michael Ricketts told us in public that he switched allegiance. YouTubers reported it. Major outlets in Jamaica reported it. So this isn't anything new. The only thing new about it is that England people actually come out. The chief of the England FA actually came out and said it. So that was all confirmed from last year that he switched allegiance. What most of us didn't know is what I'm about to read in this article. Now, the article says the FA chief executive Mark Bullingham has confirmed that Mason Greenwood has formally requested to switch to Jamaica's national team. Greenwood, 23, has not featured for England since making his debut against Iceland in September 2020, and the formal request to switch means that he is no longer eligible for selection. Now, this is the most important thing, people, right? Now, I must tell you not to be excited, but you can be excited for this because what this means, this specific section means, is that Mason Greenwood can no longer represent England. It's dead. It's in the dust. Even if he no want to represent Jamaica, he can't say him turn him back and go back to England. It is official. He made a formal request to switch allegiance, and that formal request can only be made once by an international player. You can't make up your mind and then switch it and then switch back again, right? So this formal request simply means that he is basically captured without being captured. There's only one team that Mason Greenwood can represent, and it's Jamaica, unless they have some other ties to some other country, right? But he cannot go back and say I represent England. So I did do a video before this article came out when I did not know about this thing about if once you switch, you can't switch back allegiance. And I did say that there is a possibility, because he was being linked to clubs in the Premier League, especially Liverpool, that if he was to go back to Liverpool, there's a possibility that if Liverpool could be able to do it, England would be able to do it and bring him back despite the backlash. But now, may I put my hearts out there and say, I was wrong, because I never did know this before. Because this article literally come out right after I make my video, which just show me up wicked. See? So yeah, man, Mason Greenwood cannot go back to England. So no one nobody has say him a ditch or him now go forward. He definitely can only represent us. And if he want to play international football, there's only one way that he can go, and it is Jamaica. So that is news to be excited over. But the news that people did not get excited over, to me, wasn't something to be excited for, because it's something that we all knew already, which was him switching allegiance. What you guys should be excited for is the fact that he can't switch again, which means he cannot ditch us for England. He can only represent us. So what do you have to say about that, person?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing from this, in my opinion, you see, when Mr. Bullingham would have stated that Mason Greenwood was not told that he can never play for England again, I mean, obviously, they would have never had a meeting with Greenwood and be like, listen, Greenwood, due to what you were...
want me to read the rest of the article before you do it? Because him did say that. You want me to read it for the people before
yeah, big up Cranky. Yeah, do that.
I'm going to do that. So the rest of the article says Thomas Tuchel will name his first England squad next week ahead of the World Cup qualifiers against Albania, March 21st, and Latvia, March 24th at Wembley. My understanding is Greenwood, has asked to switch, Bullingham told selected media, including The Athletic, on Thursday. That's happened formally, so he would not be able, right, to be selected because he can only switch once. So that is coming, as you guys see, from the chief of the FA in England. So he switch already, formally requested to switch, and you can't switch twice. You can only do that once, which means he's stuck with us. So if you hear anybody come out and report and say he must switch back, or he must go back to England, or he must accept an England call over Jamaica, it is impossible. It cannot happen based off of what we're seeing right here. See? So yeah, go through, person.
Yeah, so this is not the switchbox, Colorado. But anyways, what was interesting, as I said before, was when he stated that they didn't have any communication about it in Greenwood, that he would never play for England, which, you know, common sense prevail. Yeah, it was just more like, listen, no matter if you score 50-odd goal a season, we're just not gonna look at you. There would be some reason not to take him back, which we all know the reason as to why, you know. Gareth Southgate was asked about him at one point in time. He basically stated that, listen, Greenwood is playing football, he's getting back into form, something like that. And then Lee Carsley, when he was there, he was asked about Greenwood, and he basically stated that he wasn't in the plans. You know, he had other players that he was looking at. So, you know, I would have never expected that they would have told Greenwood that you're not going to play for England again. It was just more like, no matter how good you play at your club, we're just not going to pick you due to the environment and the climate of the situation. And sometimes things just happen in a life where you just have to move on from and turn your back on, right? Jamaica, they have the World Cup qualifiers to play. Is there more listen, England only have one World Cup, and that the World Cup they outdated like Windows maybe 1, if there was ever Windows 1. You know, that World Cup is like dinosaur. So in terms of accomplishments, Jamaica and England basically have the same type of accomplishments. You know, we don't really have no trophy like that. At least we have a little Caribbean trophy, you know. So it's as much prestige to play for Jamaica as it is to play for England, in my opinion. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, big up yourself, Cranky.
No, like, look at it, for real. England, they've never, to my knowledge, they've never won a Euros, right? They've never won a Euros. You know, they have one World Cup, which is like dinosaur age, right? Jamaica, yes, we don't have no like trophy like that. But it's the Reggae boys. You're going to play in the World Cup. The World Cup is being expanded. You know, Jamaica is a big brand. It's going to be a good team to an extent. You have Leon Bailey and some of these guys. Yes, they might not be world-class players, but what is England achieving across the global football? Nothing. You know, they're going to these tournaments with unrealistic expectations. It's coming home. So I believe that if Greenwood plays for Jamaica, whenever he plays for Jamaica, he'll have a lot of joy playing for the country. And when all is said and done, if Jamaica say one day win a Gold Cup or whatever the case is, at least you can sit down with the grandchildren and say, listen, I played for Jamaica back in 2026. This is what we accomplished. You know, obviously, in a different universe, he would have wanted to play for England. He did get a call up with Foden at one point. An incident happened. So, you know, that's how I see it.
But I disagree with you with your point about England. It's more prestigious to play for Jamaica than England. However, I agree with your second point.
But Jason, we're not talking about youth World Cups. That no count.
Yeah, let me say, I agree with the second point of your argument. I don't think England will ever win a major tournament in Greenwood's lifetime. Them just not get it together. Them lack something. Them lack a true identity, in my opinion. Teams that win stuff have a true identity. Even if it's not fully just the football, them have the guts. Because that Argentina team wasn't the best team in the last World Cup. But they had the fight, them have the courage, them there's something about winners, bro, where just shine through. Remember them lose them first game against Saudi Arabia, you know? See? And they managed to bounce back from that and then end up going to the World Cup. So, bro, I just don't think England have that edge about them. Yeah, them have quality players, but quality players isn't enough. They have Thomas Tuchel, who's a proven cup winner. He performs better in cups than in leagues. But I still don't think that they're going to do it. So back to the point on Mason Greenwood. I agree with you on the last point. I think Mason Greenwood is more likely to win something for Jamaica than he is to win for England. See? Because to me, that's just fact. So given the situation that he's found himself in, I think he would have looked back on his career knowing, again, the situation where he found himself in and say, all right, if we can win some for Jamaica, we can get Jamaica to a World Cup. And remember, I'm young. It's not just this World Cup. We have other World Cups. Mason Greenwood can play 4 more World Cups for us. Right?
Well, that's if the JFF get things right.
Exactly. So the fact that he's so young as well is reason to be excited. Because he's not a player that's like the Antonius and we are coming in when he's at 29, he's at 30, and we know say I just one World Cup campaign, we can get out of him. Mason Greenwood at 23, we can get at least 3 more World Cup out of time, bro. Right? And if he's a man where dedicated to him game, because remember say he was out of the game for 2 years. So if he's a man who dedicated to the game and want to make up back them 2 years, and then we can see him at 4 World Cups. Yeah. If he play as long as Messi and Cristiano is playing right now. So, yeah, bro. This is the year that we want to make it because this is the year that it will mean something. I remember say World Cup will expand even more, afterwards. So this is the year where before the World Cup expand for turn into this money-making thing. This is the last year of it being that, to me, in my opinion, this is the last year of it being a prestigious, competitive competition. I think in the next World Cup, apart from the 26th World Cup, you have to see teams and matches where you're not really interested in that because you might see 2 teams that play when they're really good, right? But this World Cup in 2026, I think the last time I going to see that, which it just, and the fact that it's in Concacaf, it's going to be held here. We just want to make it to that one. So,
but listen,
that brings me back to the 1 second before you go. That brings me back to another point that I saw in the comment section, which is in the title. The only thing stopping him right now is that signature. Now, I made a video that I just spoke about, saying what him potentially going back to the Premier League would be, domino effect, whatever. And in that video, I mentioned, I actually picked up for Mason Greenwood's mother. Come here and say, all right, if it's a chance so he can actually play back for England again, then maybe his mother just protect him. Zine, his mother might just protect him and don't want her son to look back to Jamaican fans in case him do want to come back. But maybe his mother just protect him because she want him to see, or them want to see how long, or if England would call him back. And if not, then she sign and whatever. But now that we know that there's no way that England can take him back, it then leads us right back to the question. I'm not pick up him mother no more. Why you not sign the document, bro? You get me? Go through.
Well, yeah, I kind of want to touch on that in terms of like separating the two things. Switching allegiance is different than the whole process of his mom signing the document for the passport or whatever the case is. So even if him switch allegiance and it is confirmed and everything, the ink dry on the paper, that is different compared to the whole passport process itself. You know what I mean? So let's say that it is confirmed that, let's say that everything is official about him switching allegiance, then the next step is to sign that document, which is needed for him to ultimately play for Jamaica. You know what I mean? But I think we just have to exert patience with this situation. He's a high profile player, I guess. Well, not I guess, he's a high profile player. So I guess you just have to have patience with this. Listen, even if the passport did go through or if everything was done, I wouldn't expect to see him in the March window. The reason being, him just have a second youth with him partner, right? Him just go France, basically, him just a settling and them type of thing there. So if we kind of drag him all the way from France and bring him come Jamaica and then you have to go travel over St. Vincent and you know what I mean? I mean, you can't just leave him for the World Cup qualifiers or the Gold Cup, you know? And what better way to announce him than the Gold Cup competition, like the biggest tournament in the Concacaf region? What better way to announce him?
But the thing is, the qualifier starts before the Gold Cup. The qualifiers start, I believe, a week. The Gold Cup starts a week after the qualifiers. So the qualifiers is even more important than the Gold Cup. And Steve McClaren would prefer to have him for the qualifiers than for the Gold Cup. Because as Rudolph said in my interview with him, in the eye of the man, for no, the man then the eye, man like Al Grimson, right? The man him that hire the man for Gold Cup and Nations League and them thing there. The man hire the man for get us to a World Cup. That is his only task. Zine, saying Steve McClaren said, and if you listen to him in interviews, that is what he's here. I'm here to get us to the World Cup. The World Cup. That is the only thing they mind. Right?
But so, look at the 2 upcoming games. I mean, with all due respect, I mean, Guatemala and Cayman Islands.
Bad man. Qualifiers.
Yes, but Guatemala and Cayman Islands.
Qualifiers is serious. We're not, brother, Guatemala can cause a problem. Cayman, no. But Guatemala, no in Jamaica, then we all way out for a draw. A wins we need, brother. And we need to guarantee wins. Cayman Islands, brother, we could have started JPL side, but no, we expect to beat Cayman Islands.
No, I'm going to go as far as say that still.
No, man, brother, what do you mean? Brother, Cayman Islands, them get 12 and 6 and 7 on a regular line, dog, easily, you know.
Yeah, but you ever realize when other team give them big square, whenever Jamaica play them can't give them big square.
Brother, when Jamaica play British Red Island
no, I'm not saying them specifically, but I've seen where teams pick
up them man already, bro, believe.
Yeah, they're not ready, but I'm just a
feel like JPL side against them man, I'm confident of a victory. I'm not afraid at all. So if we have a key man them, yes, we know we have a big key man. But you see Guatemala, bro, you're gonna ramp with them man there, bro. And I'm not saying that we should ignore the Gold Cup, but I was just responding to person's point and letting him know that the qualifiers comes before the Gold Cup, which means Steve McClaren is going to be keen on getting him right before the World Cup qualifiers, as opposed to playing the World Cup qualifiers and then getting him in for Gold Cup. Steve McClaren, no matter about getting him in for Gold Cup, it matter about getting him in for qualifiers, right? Now there was a conversation in the comment section between Jay Seguna and Nitro. I just want to pull out the point here. Jesse Guna said Nitro. Then again, why would the FA put out a statement like that, knowing those things? What is the reason for him to definitively say that he can't be picked again? And this alone is disrespect again, right? If they wanted to really and truly have Mason Greenwood or to play, the chief of the FA would have come out and said something like that, bro, right? So that alone show you Nitro. Say there's just no chance, bro. There is no chance. If that's a player that England wants to keep, the chief of the FA is not going to come out and say that there's no chance of him getting selected again because of his switch. He might not say there's no chance of getting selected again because of the situation that happened, which is the real reason. But because of the switch, them now will come out and say that, bro, if it's a player they really want. They might go fight to get that player behind closed doors, and they might go announce and select that player in the next squad. I saw England go to work, bro.
I know me see it as well. It's like a relationship, right? We're saying no to domestic violence. But you know, you have some couples where them have domestic issues, right? But there's this love where them have for each other, and it's like the love is so strong. Sometimes due to the fact that them have they call a syndrome, the whatever syndrome. So the love is so strong that the girl I think say, let me go back to the guy, right? Even though him abuse me. You know what I mean? And it's like you can't go back, you have to move on to better. So it's like with England, it's like Greenwood talent would benefit England, right? But do you want to put yourself in that environment? Like, you don't put yourself in that environment, brother. So it's like you break up and you move on. So even though them say, listen, whenever they say you can't play, and maybe there's a chance, but you just move on from that ex because you know the abuse will go come with it. You get me? I say the relationship nice in the sense that at England you can go work up every year, Euros, whatever the case is, but still, you know, you leave the ex and you move on, you know. So
yeah, madman in the youth, you always you always have to go for some analogy there, bro. You come like Cecil. You watch Arsenal on TV when Cecil them do their match review, brother, or them starting level review, and him have them idiot intro there. A suppressor move right now.
But bro, I literally say no to domestic violence. I just use that as example, like the people them have what they call the syndrome again, Stockholm syndrome, you know. So like the abuse for England would have come with in terms of like the fans or what they have to say about you, like you don't go back to the ex. You get me? I say so you leave the ex and you move on to better things. And guess what? No, the ex, the person when you move on to, they might not be sexy as your ex, you know, but like they have potential. So Jamaica have potential. Maybe not to be as sexy as England, but we can do something good in the World Cup and them type of thing, you know, and win a trophy. So you have to invest from early in the girl, you know.
Yeah. No, what we want to do is just get to this conversation, bro, because you clearly not understand how Jamaican and Concacaf football work. And JC gonna see it just like how I see it. Press up. You know, we learn to the Central American team, them easy to beat. You can't talk about Guatemala like that, brother. I tell you, dog. Because right now, Guatemala is a better team than Nicaragua. And look how we barely scrape past Nicaragua and we'll go after them, yeah.
Well, whenever they try to disrespect Guatemala still, where it was more like, I feel like we still have
it's
a strong
team. It's not sure. Yeah. And even with Greenwood here, it's still not sure, but we know so we can confident. When them happen against them Central American team, bro, that is the next part of what makes them
Guatemala
against them have heart, brother. Them not only can keep the ball and wear you down, they might have a prolific forward line or striker, but what them do well is they keep that damn ball good. Them knock the ball, them pass it around, and then we wear you down, bro. See? And if you're not focused fully, you can beat them, but if you're not focused fully, you might even give them all a cheap goal, brother, because you just weird out and you give them a goal. That's so them side they play, bro.
And it's a home game as well, you know, so. But I think people to put
team McClaren shows they're not good at home. So that's even more cause for concern.
To put pressure on him, he has to win the home game against St. Vincent. It's a must. Mm-hmm. Because we play Cuba at home already. We play against Honduras. Was it Honduras or El Salvador?
Which match that?
In the 6th game we play already. We play Cuba at home and we play our next team at the National Stadium. Either Honduras, I think it was either Honduras or El Salvador. Honduras. So we draw those games. We lose to the United States. So 3 home games in which we would have not picked up any points. Well, whatever. Points or whatever. Or any wins, I should say. And then the St. Vincent home game, that is important for us to win. Because the next home game after St. Vincent is actually against Guatemala at the National Stadium. Cayman will be an away game. You get me, I say? So, yeah. So, you know, we kind of have to pick up wins at home. Remember, the history of Jamaica shows that the National Stadium was called the office because they were almost unbeatable at the office. You see me, I say how much games them go on without being beaten. So, we kind of have to make the office a fortress because in the World Cup qualifiers, you have a lot of these teams who they'll be vying to qualify for the World Cup due to the fact that you have 3 spots there, no USA, no Mexico, no Canada. And Jason make a good comment. The same mindset or mentality kind of not make us qualify for the youth World Cups because not so it feel far superior, but we kind of maybe think, oh, it'll be a little walk in the park to an extent, and we can't make that virus infect the national team. And I believe that's how some people thought the football for the senior men's national team, them believe it's going to be a walk in the park, in which it's not. It's not going to be a walk in the park because Jamaica in the last year or so, we haven't really been impressive against our local opponents or regional opponents. You get me, I say? Haiti come down a stadium when Al Grimson did it. 2-2 draw, I believe it was. We have to fight we were back in the game. We struggle against Nicaragua. We struggle against Honduras and these teams. 0-0 draw.
Bro, the match there was something else, bro. You see the 80 match there? The 80 match there was something else, bro. They over bleachers, bro. They are easy boxer that. And someone even stepping at stadium at 80 score. I say, all right, I laugh. Now I said, what is? You see an 80 score, brother? The stadium silent. No Jamaican man could even cuss. The place just silent, and you just hear one woman from 80 just be over this right at the halfway line, a cheer and a jump up so with her flag. I said, everybody say idiot to what that. So I say, all right, let's see me now watch how the game ago. We see 80 score again. We say, wait, this is not right. And then big up to Andrew because the man him could have got 3-0 up because the man him get one breakaway, 1v1, and I'm look on it. The breakaway I'm right in front of him because I'm wearing on the lower part of bleachers with the bro. And the breakaway there, I'm right in front of the whole of me and my dad them sets the dog the whole way. Because we have said, dog, really, Jamaica, we're going to lose to 80, dog?
Well, then again, not 2-2, Josh.
3-2. Just let some hoops and save it. And that lift up the crowd. Because we have said, all right, our final straw, that, bro. And I so come, they may not get a 2-2. Brother, I come to this day, I can't believe how the man them come and shop me like that, dog. You see me, when we see Bobby save up for the penalty, them take so long to take the penalty. The whole stadium there, they are fresh, brother. Because we have said that if we lose the 80, dog, that would have been turmoil.
Just to read some of this, right? Last year, 2023, we play Honduras 1-0 victory at home, right? Then we play Haiti 2-2. We play Grenada, we beat them up 4-1. We play Haiti again 3-2 away from home. That was the Nations League. We play Guatemala 0-0. Oh wow. 0-0.
See that? All right. What am I just tell you?
That had that as well.
They might not beat you, but then we wear you out and make a whole a draw, brother, which we don't need in our qualifiers. That is why we need to bump up this squad. But now I said the team them are beat, you know. But we need to bump up the squad so we can guarantee victories, brother. Victories, wins that we get with to this World Cup, brother. We cannot drop no points to them side, dog. We know we can dust them.
So even those games, I remember some of those games vividly. Wasn't the best of performances from Jamaica, especially against even Honduras and Haiti. And then even more recently, the Dominican Republic when Hallgrimson was there, you know, we kind of struggled at home. It was only a 1-goal win. We played Dominica where we kind of allowed them to get back into the game, a 3-2 victory. Then we go into the Copa America, which a lot of fans had unrealistic expectations. And then recently we draw to Cuba despite having a numerical advantage. Honduras, we did beat them away from home. Nicaragua, we beat them. Then we play back Honduras again. Really, that was one of the worst games that we would have played under Steve McClaren. And then USA was always going to be an uphill battle. So, you know, even dating back to Hallgrimson, so like some of these games we really found it difficult. You know, and some of these teams we will be facing in the World Cup qualifiers. So that will even give them a bit of injection and more oomph in terms of how they play Jamaica. That, listen, this is not Concacaf Nations League. This is not like a friendly. This is a World Cup qualifiers. Might as well them come war with them, probably bring knife and gun at the game because it's a war at this moment in time. You get me? I say, seeing that it's World Cup qualifiers, there's everything to play for these teams. So, as Jason said, the same mentality we have with under 17 and them type of people that we can't make certain things kind of infect the senior team and we approach these games. And I think one thing that Jamaican fans need to learn to do is respect the opponents, bro. Respect the opponents. Because when they miss him want to thump up them chest against USA, and the way the man them talk unrealistic, I'm like, bro, how can you talk about beating the USA? You've never really beaten them before, so only just get up today and say we are going to beat the USA. Like, what? Worst of all, when the team was depleted and the players were not on form. Like, bro, this is craziness. This is crazy.
Yeah. Boy, I try and joke kind of that. You could have been a comedian in our next life, you know. Any good I say, yo, good news coming up. And I share the comment section. Any good, yeah, the additional 3 to 4 JPL players is good news. Brother, I know any them that talk about JPL players. So the man say good news are forward, bro. After something, you see me, international. Yeah, why national, yeah, them one that are happy to use. Breaking news. My father's son come out of prison.
Jason, I say, people want to talk about one player, Kaheem Dixon, and Jason, maybe they can even speak to this more, just get your opinion. Eddie, Kaheem Dixon, you feel like him deserve a call up for the next window? 7 games for Charlton. Well, I was looking at our website. You know, sometimes these websites don't really keep up with the youth teams, but it says 7 games and 10 goals so far for Kaheem Dixon this season. Scored today in that game in a 2-1 victory over Watford. What do you think? You think him deserve a call up for the next window? Because I don't think he has been given a call up since Steve McClaren has been here, right?
What you mean? Of course, he can get called up in every call.
Since Steve McClaren there?
Yeah, but man, him come on for the bench too.
Yeah,
Him just come on well late. But every single game he get called up in. Remember when he go Nicaragua?
For real.
Yeah,
No, just remember. Yeah, but then again, you see through the performance, you see through the minutes so short, it's like, you never remember, you know?
Yeah, bro. So...
No, if I remember, because you see, because him not start the game, them is like, me never register him to that extent. But remember the back heel. No, the back heel that did with
the back heel I did for Charlton. But
yeah, remember the little flick him though.
Yeah, bro. Come on over something. Yeah, the flick in a Nicaragua match. Yeah, bro.
You didn't even remember say the man play because if
El Salvador match.
Yeah. If the man get look minutes, how am I gonna remember say man even play for the team? Like I look at 5 minutes and so me never register man in my brain.
Come on, El Salvador match. What we win must be 2-1. When them will score 1 goal and then we get the next goal, the one in Norman Campbell square it in. And him make we get the second goal. When him come on in and must be the 68th minute or something. And him flip the ball around pan must say Bailey or Maggie or one of them. And then
when them get called up for the out of the team, get called for
every window from Algrim to let him get called for brother. What Algrim did that do is him did that keep the same team, but him phase out some player for bringing in some others. You see me? And Dixon get phased out yet. I don't think I'm gonna get phased out because him perform more now than when he did actually get called under Grimmy and Steve last year. So yeah, may expect him to get a call up. Whisper back soon, but Whisper now get the call up there. Whisper
you see, that's why I can't follow people, you know. The man never get called for the USA window, bro.
What do you mean him to get called for the USA window?
Me not see the man on the bench.
Bad man. Dixie get called for USA window, brother. I man just name play.
Brother, so I'm not seeing him on the bench.
People did a call for Dixie on the bench. I'm gonna check back that. Yo, when it go match, of course people did a call for Dixie on the bench unless him injured. No, yes, JC, you're right. Him get called, but him and Anthony did last.
Oh, for real.
Because I know him get called, bro. He was in the initial squad. He always get called.
But that's why you say me can't forget the man not get called. Because I say, I don't really see the man like that. So, like, you see me, I say, that's why I think so the man not there about. You get me, I say? But not the event in the Nicaragua game, remember? But yeah, the Mikel Antonio passport, and the man must say, oh, the man lost his passport. Like, them better not last if he next win the RT, you know, like, you see me, I say?
Yeah,
but people can't see as to why I would have forget about the man because he's like, so much things happen, he's like, you know, you need to register like that. But I want him to get called for the next window. Seeing that him did get called for the last one, and he has actually been performing even after that last window in November around that time period. So ever since he has been performing. So wish him the best, and I feel like his development is going well. You have a lot of people calling for him in the first team. He might I don't think he's ready. Well, I'm not gonna say anything ready because I'm not watching like that. But the coach said not ready. You get me? I say so by the coach word, trusting the Charlton Athletic coach of the senior team. Then I will go with his word. You just have to allow the youth to develop him game. He has been there for less than maybe like 8 months or so. So there's no rush. If him can just continue like this for the rest of the season, then in the summer, you maybe can travel with the first team for a preseason, and then you kind of just balance it out from being with the senior team and the under 21s. If by then you can still play with them, and then you just take a career from this because he's relatively still young. But next season for sure, if he could get some first team football, then that would aid massively in his development. With Whisper now, Whisper needs to come back from injury. And what would be the best case scenario for Whisper next season? Remain with the under 21s or under 23s it is? Or
Whisper needs to they need to give up this bullshit about first team. Just go on loan, dog. Well, first thing he need to do is he need to come back from him injury and finish the season strong. You see, once he finish the season, just so he did finish last season, right? Loan, brother. You need to play big man football. We don't see what you can do against an idiot little boy there, dog. We need to see what you can do against a big team. Them. So I want to know if because of the Jamaican connection there, if Chelsea can get into a League One, Zine, or if he can go Barnsley like how John Russell and Dexter Lembicki said they Barnsley, but them need to get the man for start play big man football. Because when the man play big man football, would never see the man play big man football, you know?
Yeah, like my both asked you that question. Like, all right, you look at a Cole Palmer, for example, right? Where him kind of flimsy and so on, but him kind of strong in a sense, right? Him kind of can ride a tackle, football terms. Now, with Whisper, right? We see Whisper with the Chelsea youth team, and we see him play against him age group, and them Monday, them relatively physical, I guess you could say. But like, you know how kind this can have that short thing about him, and him kind of have a more musty seem like Whisper, like what would be like a suitable league theme where him can actually thrive, like physically speaking as well. Because if you get bullied off for the ball, etc., it makes sense to go play big man football. You see me I say, whether League 1 or League 2. So like physically, I kind of look on Whisper and say like, you might have the technical ability, but you have to impose yourself physically in order to get past players, etc.
I think he's a monster still. Like physically, I know problem, you know, bro. But just feel him just need to get man football minutes under him belt. Because physically he is better than when name Omar Hutchinson to me. Physical wise, excluding the fitness. I don't know how in fitness if him can play a 90-minute match in a big man football consistently. But physically, in terms of like pace for pace, strength, shooting ability, the man is a machine, man. Left foot, right foot. Whisper is a machine in that way, dog. You see me? So,
but in terms of future,
football, bro. In terms of Mr. Butler need to just blow that the first team thing, brother. You get the man to a level. Zine, try to see if you can get the man a loan move next season, bro. Do the agent work and get the man a loan deal, brother. See?
Big deal. The man never say man better than Omar.
Never say better than Omar Hutchinson, bad man. But say physically, right? He's more of a powerhouse than Omar Hutchinson, in my opinion. Physically. Left
But
foot, right?
definitely next season,
Power,
Whisper
speed.
need a loan move, you know. Yeah, a couple of players from the academy that was there with Whisper when he was playing. A couple of them kind of play some big man football right now. And you have some of them will get promoted to the first team. I think this guy can't pronounce his name, Meko or something like that. And you have Tyreek. Is it Tyreek George that played yesterday, or one of them? One of them played yesterday. You get me? I say a couple of them would have featured for Chelsea in the Conference League. So, and I mean, a Conference League for Whisper would have even been a suitable competition as well if you kind of get him feet wet, you know. But unfortunately, he might recover now and them type of thing there, isn't me? But you think he have a future at Chelsea though?
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's hard for to say that again. We just need to see him play against big man. I can't say that even see him play against big man, bro. Because at the end of the day, there is a pathway there. Because Nicholas Jackson, not a competition, Nkuku look like say he's not at the level in terms of like with Nkuku is a real Bundesliga baller, brother. Him no want pressure. Zin, him no want to be. Him prefer the underdog role. Him no want to be at a top team. Zin. So Nicholas Jackson, the real out and out striker there that is really making waves. So there is a pathway if him can play striker. Madueke is there. Neto Sancho. Them man they not tear up trees, bro. So if the man can prove himself in a big man football, there is a pathway. If the man can shoot out any one of them man out that team, brother. Zin. But you need to start play big man football, bro. You need to start play big man football. And if that is a loan move, then Mr. Butler needs to get that done.
Yeah, because World Cup will come up as well now. So if Jamaica qualify, then you other things after like Whisper would have won on the plane. But then again, in my opinion, even if he's not on the plane, nothing is wrong in the sense that there's no need to rush. Because he's what, 20? So you have a lot more competitions to come up with. Even if you miss out on this one due to the fact saying up to speed or whatever the case is, then you know, me not want when World Cup forward, people are gonna say, yo, coach no know who to pick him, bad man, Whisper, like that is utter rubbish. You know, World Cup is nothing to play around with. You know, whoever is deserving of a call up by then should be the ones that should get selected because we need the best team available to go to the World Cup. You know, so I'm not really want to hear a conversation about he must pick this because he's a wonder kid and you know, Jason said Nicholas Jackson is underrated in my opinion. And yeah, Jason, even today in a show, I say, yo, I believe that Nicholas Jackson as a striker is the best striker, the best all-rounded striker in world football. The only problem with Nicholas Jackson, I don't even think it's a finishing problem. It's more of a decision-making problem. You get me? I say? Because he will have the wide open goal and the man decides him to go pass, he might go kick the ball to the linesman. And so him kind of stay in front of goal way.
Bro, the man middle third play, exceptional.
Yeah.
It reminds me of prime. It reminds me of prime Lacazette. Now get me right, prime Lacazette. I'm not talking about old Lacazette when he wash up. But I don't know if JC gonna remember prime Lacazette, brother. Them man they hold up play, turning, playing off the ball, bringing others into play, along with scoring goals. Exceptional.
But look how the man getting behind defenses easily. Defensive. What?
Yeah, brother.
Defenses easy. And in pace as well. The pace help him. Like quick speed. You know, and he stretch defense, and as a striker, you kind of need that about you. That's why it kind of get me frustrated when we watch a player like Rasmus Højlund. Like, like when we watch a player like Højlund, it kind of frustrates me because as a striker, even though you know get the ball, like even though you know like get the service like in front of goal, like you have to make runs that like stretch the defense because.
No disrespect to Ireland, but Ireland is just another example of Manchester United's poor scouting and recruitment. Them buy the man because him score a 9 goal in a how much international game, and because even in club form never scream as to why you know that spend 75 million on him. In club form was poor the season before him go Man U. So where they come from? They buy they never make no sense, bro. It's just another one of the poor decisions that Manchester United have made over the years.
It's a tenor thing, brother. Like I sit tenor, I box him down, brother. Big one thing. Like even when they tenor do an interview and me the man talk about he miss United, I'm saying like, bro, we don't miss you. You see me? Like don't miss us. Like we don't miss you, but it's just part of the game. We get things wrong for too long, so I have to kind of fix that up. But next season we need a striker still, definitely.
So you say now beat this Sunday?
Sunday? Well, the last time Arsenal play West Ham, they go Africa. I'm not going to name the country, but I go the continent of Africa and I link up somebody and West Ham beat, you know. So for this game, I believe we will beat Arsenal. But I'm going to make a trip go to the motherland first. So we can start out things.
By how much? People, the show basically about done in the numbers them fall when the show go done. Like we need
I go with no, honestly, people, to listen, when Arsenal play another look either white shirt and make United beat them, I don't know what was up with Arsenal then. But I believe that Arsenal will beat United this Sunday. Then again, United is a weird team, but them can just make it very difficult and get a win. But brother, dog, Rasmus Wine and brother and them people there. Yo, if Spurs are beat with brother, Arsenal must beat with. Yes, it's Old Trafford and it's difficult. But brother, if Arsenal can beat United Sunday with or without a striker, then I don't know if I tell you say. We don't deserve to win no trophy. You see me? Although the trophy kind of wrap up already with over Anfield and Liverpool.
Would that be second time we are done half a goal then, brother? We score 5 against City and we put a C back one in our next few games then.
Yeah, that's the thing with football, bro. Like I've watched games where teams. Yeah, that's the thing with football. Like
and can't we get one against Man U, dog.
Yeah, and if you look at football, people like you have teams when we score one goal and the next game. Yo, remember one game when Liverpool a couple years ago play man him score about 7 goals, no brother. And Salah come on. Them time they me play FPL, no brother. Me captain Salah, no brother. Me see the man bench and me say, yo, what the backside of going so? And then the man bring on Salah and Salah get like 2 goals, a couple of assists, brother. And the next game, Liverpool struggle to score. You see what I say? So you kind of have to be careful with the ammunition. You can't really don't know the run span and look up bum team. No disrespect to PSV. But that's how it goes still.
People, make we get the lights him up now. We're about to end the show. 84 round of the on the stream, dog, and it only have 58 likes. What is the point? We're gonna end the show. But just
another topic I want to discuss. FIFA, the World Cup. Infantino announced that I don't know if he said that there will be a halftime show or there's a possibility of a halftime show.
No, man, it's up 100%.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people in uproar, but I mean, it is what it is. It's coming to America. America is this commercial hub where you kind of need to maximize your earnings, and I guess that's our next year where them can even bring in more viewership, because more viewership equals more money, you know. And America, when you do things in America, it even widens the viewership, like the scope of the viewership. And imagine, well, then again, you know, it's a foolishness this though. How much at halftime, at 15 minutes at first, brother. Say I tell me, say play them more than 15 minutes. The backside of it, so. And joking this. But anyways, it is going to happen, and you know, you have a Drake perform at the halftime show and thing. It's a good look still. It's a good look. I can bring on
them confirm say Drake?
No, but this one video with a news there same could have bring on Drake, like could then bring Kendrick for Super Bowl, and Drake could have won the beef because he performed at the World Cup bigger thing than, and they could have bring Vibes Cartel to you. Don't know anything said.
That's a fear, bro.
But Sean Paul did perform at a World Cup a couple years ago. Yeah. Yeah, so them are going to lengthen the halftime. So I mean, I think it would be a good thing. People, listen, if Jamaica go to the World Cup, we have to go to the World Cup. As in, we have to buy we ticket them and actually go to game them, because me are going, me are go. And if go the World Cup,
you literally did it, you know, must go.
Yeah, and the World Cup final, me are go the World Cup final too. World Cup now come America, and me not go the final. So if the ticket costs $5,000, me I go find the $5,000 somehow and pay it. I'm not going to World Cup final, brother. And let me see, who more win the World Cup? Next World Cup, who more win it? What me say when it's still?
Bro, me have some dog, bro. You see me?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
The man them say, yo, a Portugal them a go watch, brother. Them not go watch in Jamaica. But them say them last chance to see a Christie. Portugal them a go watch.
Ronaldo not deserve to go next World Cup, brother.
The man is going to go, brother. I want more year.
Deserve to go, brother.
I want more year there.
You more about the team.
No Portuguese strike and tear up trees, bro.
One to that fraud, the Gonzalo or Goncalo Ramos.
Can't tear up trees, bro. You know, see our PSG in there, them can't start.
Yeah.
If they can't start, them a put on a little pitney over him and what day, brother. We are kick up one shot against Liverpool.
Let me ask you this. Best keeper in our world right now?
David Raya.
Not Alisson?
Alisson, he had a brilliant performance, world-class performance. Him command that box so well. But I don't know if would give him best keeper in our world. Can't call him that. It's such an awkward position. You can't even definitively say, because one keeper gonna have a brilliant performance or two brilliant performances, and then them are gonna be the best keeper of the world because of them caliber.
Yeah.
So it just depends, bro. At the start of the season, for sure, David Raya was the best in the world. At the start, because them cat-like reflexes and them thing they need to make. He had to be. But then Emi Martinez step up because in a 2 games he must dig out some wicked performances for Aston Villa. And then we have Alisson right now. So it's pitchy-patchy, bro.
Yeah.
It's an awkward position. But don't you can have that. It's more about longevity than a 1 or 2 performance. So like how you perform over an entire season. That's how you judge best keeper in the world. I think that can judge off a form. Because
I mean, J-Bus gaming.
yeah, because we then want a team where a perform where you even if you use the keeper for 2-3 games straight, but do not know spectacular. Zine. But you really know the best keeper in the world in the best stages. So that includes the World Cups, the Euros, the Copa Americas, the knockout stages of competitions. Them there when you can start class keepers best in the world.
Yeah. But even like for answer J-Bus gaming, I mean, bro, Ronaldo to me doesn't add anything to Portugal again, bro. Like you look on the last World Cup, you know, he just not add anything. And why take that hit just to please Ronaldo? You get me? I say, as a coach, sometimes you just have to make the big decision and say, listen, just like when him come at United, Ronaldo kind of did set back United because all they said him did have to change him playing style for suit Ronaldo. You get me? I say, so you kind of take more from the team. He takes more from the team than what he adds. Yes, him add mentality and the stardom and whatever. But look at Messi, bro. Messi at least facilitating teammates. You get me? I say, and then again, that's just how Messi was all along. That's how he plays. So when he even get older, he can facilitate them more. Him not to do as much running up and down and thing. But you know, I don't think any of these coaches. Then again, you have the Punk. Well, not Punk. What name? What the man name with the Portugal? Why with the Belgium with you?
Roberto Martinez.
Yeah, them man didn't go bet no big call and left for Ronaldo. Because him don't say Ronaldo didn't have plans already. Him said that trying to get the job, so.
Them man they are Punk manager, yes. Them man they are yes man manager, brother. Them man they can't win the side no World Cup, brother. You see me? I don't see him winning a team a World Cup. Them man they are specialists in failure type of manager. Them we get it
Well,
make you play and look good. But them man are winners, dog. What them man they ever win? He must win one FA Cup with Wigan. Way back in a woy. That alone that man they ever win, brother, against Manchester City. Them man they no win nothing else, dog. Them man they no winners, bro. Them man they mentality. Just overall, him can't win nothing from the side, dog.
Let me ask you this. You believe that England can actually win the World Cup 2026?
I tell you that already today. But literally just tell it. I tell you in the show, you say we England in a Macy Greenwood time for him entire career now go win nothing. So that alone answer your question, brother.
But nobody now say we not give Ronaldo no props. Of course, Ronaldo still score goal, give him props and thing, but it's just that he takes more from the team than what he adds to the team, and that's a detriment. That's going to be a detriment to any team. Right now, you put Ronaldo in
the last World Cup against Morocco. Ronaldo was not needed on that football pitch.
Yeah,
and that cost him.
You put Ronaldo in the Arsenal team right now. Yes, he must score 1 and 2 goals, but bro, that will change the dynamic of the team massively. You know them way you put him in a City team, it changed the dynamic of the team because you have to facilitate to him. You know, it's no disrespect to the player or anything like that. I just how the game play. You know them way like even though people have conversation whether or not LeBron James make him teammates better, them type of thing there. You see what I say? So yeah, and LeBron James, you see, you don't know Stephen A. Smith, so yeah, you know him, don't?
Yeah, brother, Stephen A. Smith used to play for Bomba now, which them.
What?
I would Stephen A. Smith that. You have a name Smith where you used to play for now, which in a permanent.
Without that, I'll come analyst or one of the people that in America, ESPN youth. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know him?
No, I'm gonna follow. I know the name. Which the fat one, the fat white one used to go support Liverpool.
Dog. I'm not talking basketball with you again or nothing. American sports media.
Brother, I'm gonna watch basketball that way. I tell me about that. I'm gonna watch them sitting there, dog. The youth, yeah. You know, so when I watch basketball, like a football, my thing there, UFC. You could talk on UFC, dog. And boxing, and them thing, them with
But before we go, I just want to play a video clip, you see me? Then again, it have audio, so we can't go play.
Yo, the UFC fans there in the comment section. I saw some UFC content, bro.
Let me just share this quickly with the people them. Let me just share this with the people them quickly. People, these are some mistakes that Andrew Onana would have been making.
Bad man, nobody copyright up my video in the youth.
No, I'm not thinking that copyright. Yeah, I could look. I can't say for sure. Yeah, when I basketball, me that talk. Steve Naismith, a big man in the industry still. But LeBron James checking on a game last night. Said, "Don't talk about my son." You see me, I say, like, but him son playing at the NBA and them type of way there. You see me,
No,
so.
but brother, for sure, you say it's not a coincidence. Watch out. Steven, it not go show. Steven Naismith, brother. Show me I want the blur figure up on this.
Jason asked me some about
brother. Steven Naismith play for Everton and Norwich, brother. Remember the Monday Night Premier League.
Yo,
Yes,
man, ask you a question about the UFC or boxing, something like so.
Who that? Which one?
Funny screen.
You know, some they watch a fight, they still Jason. Honestly. But barely watch boxing, but if you watch the fight, they call them the text me in a group for watch it, but I'm tired. But mostly watch UFC. You see me? I don't really watch boxing unless I some. Watch out. Gunnaz boss forward. So you know play the thing, bro?
Oh, let me play quickly. Gunnaz boss, big up yourself. 1 second, Gunnaz boss.
When they watch the fight, they Jason.
Come on, big up yourself, yo. Big up yourself, Gunnaz.
1 second, let me just play this quickly. You see it?
Yeah, go through.
I'm turning off audio. This is Andrew and Anati, like previous clubs, brother. Right now, play, don't.
No, brother. It a play now.
Fun is madness. Like, brother, what if you explain them type of thing there as a goalkeeper? Like, as I say, the same mistake the man make a him club them where they at the same mistake the man come and make a United. But Gunnaz boss, big up yourself.
No one buy the man, brother. And I complain.
I mean, you talk about first we talks about Stephen A. Smith and basketball.
No, me say him check LeBron. No, LeBron check him say him not fit talk about him son.
Why him not fit talk about LeBron son? Well, LeBron can't stop the man from doing job.
Well,
his job is to criticize players and everything what everybody been saying about LeBron's son and LeBron, where his son is concerned, is right.
So, we want to say some nepotism something.
And then well on the man. The youth can average 2 points a game from college to NBA. Him can't grab 2 points and get. Him can't grab 2 points and grab 5 rebounds and 2 rebounds and 2 assists a game. So what him are doing at the NBA? No most nepotism. Yeah. But I know that LeBron James is an idiot. Instead of running up on dudes at courtside or at the game, man, hit somebody, dumbass. Hit somebody. That's what you need to do. Hit somebody. Because you running up on people and running, yeah. That don't mean nothing. If you're serious about your son, slap him in his mouth when you see him. If you ain't doing that, you ain't doing nothing. You're just giving him more fuel for talk. Kwame Brown was averaging like more, triple the amount of points, and Stephen here running out of the NBA. Oh, he's a boss, this, that, and the third.
But you know the funny thing with LeBron James and professional players is like them get the tough talk but never put hand on people. You see me?
Yeah, put your
hands give me tough talk, you better put hand on me. You see me? I say
risk your career, risk it all, crash out. That's what we say. Crash
like
out,
can they go on Twitter and say like, bro, if I see you like I say like brother like
crash out. You know where to find him.
Yeah, it's $100 million like
yeah, he be all over the place. He live in California now. Too. He just bought a house down there. Crash out.
But Gunnaz boss, so you have to say about Reggae Boys and Cavalier and them type of thing though.
Cavaliers, man. Listen, I'm so proud, man. I'm still on that high from what happened last night. And I don't care about nobody talking about the L. It's a W to me, based on how the youth them go out there and perform and all of them thing there. And the way how I don't know who is the coach for the Inter Miami team, but I sure know I hear Mr. Speed, the Rudolph Speed name call over 30 times during that broadcast, brother.
Yeah.
The people them was loving him, the announcer, them and a local announcer, international people them.
But so, based on the game, right? Mm-hmm. You think Speed could have coached the senior men's national team?
The what?
You know, if I'm lying, I'm dying, that drop cross my mind.
If
him could have coached the senior men's national team.
Listen me. From them fire Hal Grimson. I am the only one out here I tell Mr. Speed, tell him to him face, say, take your work, take your job. Me not think that, me not think there's a better.
I think him would want him say it multiple times, him not want it. Because
yeah, he say he don't want it.
Him love is for Cavalier.
Yeah, man,
right?
too much things, and then too much things come behind it. I don't think Mr. Speed want to deal with all
yeah.
You know want to deal with that.
But the question I have for you guys, when all is said and done and McClaren leave, because after the World Cup, I don't think McClaren will be here, right? Who's going to be the coach?
That's what me type in a comment today. And me just tell McClaren saying, watch your food right now because Mr. Speed good have to dip in our plate sooner than later, you know, cause right now, with Mr. Speed and the respect where him a gain and him popularity now and all them things and more people are seeing him, I don't think we need to go find a high price coach where we have to play room and board and everything for them at Jamaica. We have people at Jamaica can coach the team. So
and the thing is, maybe some people would have finally get, well, not really, but you have to say some people would have finally get where them been asked, which is for him give up him post as technical director. But from technical director to coach, where him up the selection.
But
where's the backside, dog?
But you see the people, Jamaican people and a whole, you know, they like this generation. It wasn't like this when I was growing up, but all of a sudden we just like the foreign and the shiny names and the bling.
I don't think that is the thing.
What do you think it is?
It's just about experience and quality. You get me, I say?
What kind of experience and quality? Then which part the experience? So this man went out to him. What kind of experience him have other than in the England and a rugby?
No, but it's the assumption that with this experience and quality, the assumption is that him can get us to where we want to be. You get me? I say?
Yeah, man.
I mean, people in Japan can say, "Oh, them love the teacher and nurses in Jamaica," because we just have quality down there in terms of that. Them want English teachers. Jamaica is one of the places where them go and them go for teachers. So in terms of the football itself, you can't cheat football. You can't invest something that is not quality and expect to get a quality return from it. So with McClaren and some of these guys, Shea for a couple years ago, yes, him never get us to the promised land or whatever the case is, right? But still, you kind of have to just continue until you get it right. And I don't think over the years it has been a coaching thing as to why Jamaica. No, it has been both coaching and the players that we have at our disposal as to why we're not going to work up them.
European coach them.
Just to respond to Jagar.
Which part the coach Rene Simeos from South America, right?
Yeah.
And this other brother we just call him name is from South America too, right?
No, he's not come from South America.
Where him come from?
Germany.
Okay.
Which coach?
Schaefer is from Germany. Yeah, Schaefer.
Yeah.
But Schaefer, but it's at the South America coach take with the furthest we ever been.
But funny enough, well, not funny enough, but I was listening to a program with Cranky, and Cranky played a video clip where John Wall was asked the question about must be Simoes or whatever. And the man laugh and say football move on from 1998, brother, you see me? So man, so must stop talk about Rene Simoes and
trash, man. Cranky is only critical of the team. Cranky.
Well, me never say Cranky, me say John Wall.
When you attack Cranky, all him like leg humpers them. Yeah, because him only respect people who is bowing down to him. I went about to no guy. So not talk to me about Cranky. Cranky and in all of Cranky opinions are true.
Well, all right, listen, it wasn't about him. I just say where me hear the video clip from. And and John Wall, the man that the John Wall video clip, and John Wall say the man who must move on from Rene Simoes and all that thought process because that was in 1998. So I'm saying over the years, I believe that Jamaica has tried to cheat the football process, both at the senior level and youth level, and they have not got any good returns from it. At least on the girls' side, them get good returns because I feel like the players that we have for the girls are actual quality, and it shows in terms of the World Cup qualifications and them making it out of them group and these different type of things, right? So it's not about we love the foreign thing or whatever the case is. I mean, England love the foreign thing them when it come on to the Premier League and where them get them player from. England clubs love the foreign thing in terms of the managers. Why them not hire English managers? Because they ain't good enough.
Then that's why I said so why we are search over there.
What do you mean? Because our players not good enough.
If England not have good not have no great coaches or no great players, why we going over there?
No,
About
no,
the
yet no,
England.
no, no, no. You see, you now make sense now. You now make sense. In terms of for the Premier League itself, right? England, the team have good players who can win trophies. No, it's a matter of win, but not because them not have good coaches per se. For like England national team itself doesn't mean that they cannot be good for Jamaica, because they're two total different regions and the expectations of the two countries.
You just now make no sense, because if we are competing against those people to win and they are rejecting players who cannot win, and then we are pick up. It's like we're picking up other people garbage, so it now make we no better.
Are you mad? Are you mad? Bad man.
Listen,
The expectations of the two teams are completely. The expectations of the two teams are completely different. England want to win World Cup and win Euros. Jamaica just want at least qualify for a World Cup.
Jamaica just want to appear. We just want to
appear. So hold on. I never know say Jamaica want to win World Cup.
I don't know what we want to do. Me think
the man want to qualify for World Cup, bad man.
I just qualify Jamaica
the best of the world and qualify and try to go as far as we can go. I never know say just to appear here. And
but you not just say you want to win World Cup.
What's your 1% Gunnaz, boss? You think we can do that without foreign importation?
Without what?
You think we can do that with local ball alone?
No. And I never said we have local ball alone. I never said we have local ball alone, you know. I said to have a mixture of the best players you can find in Jamaica and across the diaspora. That's what
and you see that the best players that we can find in Jamaica now cut it because them can't beat Trinidad B team.
But yeah, what? The best players them where we are bring from and the worst and the best players them where we are bring from over England, not cutting it neither, because we can't beat.
But them could have beat. Make sure them can beat Trinidad B team. So that alone proves here that they are.
Oh, you sure? Where is the documented proof that that team can beat Trinidad D team? We not see it. So
let me tell you, it's not about. Let me tell you, with the Jamaica national team, it's not about whether or not the players are good enough. I believe it's more about the system and what the coach wants to do. Because every player will go fit within a philosophy. So maybe the coach, even McClaren recently stated that he wants more players or better players, you know, because he wants to play a certain style of football where maybe some players from England can't play that style of football. There maybe one person that is integral isn't within the team and they need somebody else. So it's not a case where...
We're not brave coaches, bro.
Well, maybe that as well.
The thing is, Jamaica is not the only team that is spoiled with talent in certain positions. But at the end of the day, coaches look on Serbia. Serbia, we use Serbia all the time. Serbia have 3 or 4 quality above average, very good strikers. In Jovic, Vlahovic, Mitrovic, and then they have a next one that come up as well. And I want alone them did I use at one point, brother. The other 2 were class, they have to sit down on bench until them switch them system to 3-5-2 and them accommodate the 2 strikers. And them system them focus on. So that means say if me get in a player and me know say yo, we have a system where fit. For example, there is a realistic situation. You know say the back 3 system fits Jamaica and the style of play of midfield and backline the best. And the fact say our attackers struggle to give us output. We should be focusing on a system that is going to get the best out of all our team, and then we can focus and think about how we are going to fit the attackers them around that. Look at our backline and look at our midfielders. Majority of our midfielders they play in our back 3 type of system for them club. And our defenders are very astute in a way where they can play in our back 3. Ethan Pinnock played majority of his career in our back 3 for Brentford. Right? When name Holgate plays both right back and centre back, which means that he's accustomed to that right hand side of the back line. The same thing for Joel Latibodier. He's accustomed to that right hand side of the back line because he plays both centre back and right back. He knows how to cover spaces, and for the country, he's actually playing a midfield too, which means we have defenders that play better in a back 3. Not to mention, we have wing backs. Dexter Lembikisa plays better as a wing back as opposed to a right back or a full back. Zine or midfielders, Jonathan Russell plays in our system where they play in our 3-man midfield with a 3-man backline and wing backs and 2 strikers up front. So Jamaica just don't have brave coaches where they know say yo, we're gonna either play 1 striker with a Leon Bailey up top, we're gonna play in and around him and peel off wide for try create. Or we just bench Leon Bailey at all. We don't have brave coaches to do that. coaches are coming in and say, yo, we have to fit in the best players and we need to play with best players, and that is costing the country because we cannot seem to find a system that is going to benefit having all of them on the field at once. Leon Bailey, Damara, and a striker up top base, done, brother. And if we don't get Mason Greenwood, it make it worse, done. It now work. We try too much time now, it's not working, brother. That done. The players ain't pass them time for you to do that, bro. You see me? The system is what we should be focusing on. And if a player forget bench because of the system, then you bench a player for the system, my friend. And some see it now. But the coaches, they're not brave enough to do that. Them consistently are trying to force the quote-unquote best players together for play together instead of focus on them system for win football matches. And that's some see it.
Gunnaz. I'm pressed. Everything what you're just saying now, right now. But you hear you call 4 players from Serbia. Let me ask you a question. Where those players talent were developed and play all of their football, youth football and them thing there. At home in Serbia, right?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm have to do research. Because some of them fully did go abroad and go to other European teams, maybe Belgium, I'm not sure.
Based on what we know right now, them based on until you can tell me otherwise. Brethren, me tell you, say you need to employ a producer now. When you no come and here in a mid-air, you can't give argument and tell me say you don't know. So if you don't know, say it, brother. That is that. Here where we are going.
No, that was the thing. Here we are going.
Put a disclaimer.
The part where media trying to get to.
You say me here. You use the name media and journalists all the while. You know. You say you're trying to get there. You know. So just put a disclaimer. Now we are going to throw out all journalistic credibilities and dive into reckless speculation. You're good. Continue.
But the thing is, the point we didn't make has nothing to do with the point where you are bringing forward now. I was talking about Jamaican system and you are talking about where the players were developed
but
from.
That's what I'm trying to get to, but you say you don't know, but here what happened now.
That means that me need to know the exact situation and the point where you did that try.
Yes,
it's up
sir.
to you to tell me that.
You need to know.
If you want to make a point, it's up to you to make me know. You can't make the point and you don't know about the point where you are making.
When me I go try to tell you now. Since you don't know and I don't know, if you look,
you should bring out the point then. You can't be me if you're not knowing a point where you want me.
Me allow you. Me listen to everything what you say now.
Listen
to everything what you say, boss. So when me I try to say now, you say you don't know and I don't know, but I am going to say, for instance, these guys played together during youth, whether in a system or in a thing. You cannot bring players. What I'm trying to say, let me just get to the point. You cannot bring players together every time you have a break for a few days or a few months or a few weeks, a few days, and say we are going to teach them a system. This is why the World Cup thing and the World Cup and the national thing, when we are importing and are bringing players like this at this multitude, we need not to have a system. We need to have the best talent we can because them don't have no time to learn the system, boss. You have to have the players consistently to learn a system.
You can't win football matches, you know, brother.
Huh?
You can't just. We have done this before as a country. In the last qualifiers, we're getting the players them. We're getting the Rabel Morrisons. We're getting the Kemar Roof that was a top striker at the time when he come in. We're getting the players them and them just to the perform. Why? Because system is more likely to win football matches than top players. You put top players in a team together and you have a system where the whole of them are click together and now go work. Manchester United is a clear example of that. You put in players that have been doing good when them go outside of the club. But when you bring the whole of them in the club, yeah, something about it rotten where them can't win matches. Everybody will let Man U perform well. But when them there in Man U, something about it make them can't perform. So you can't just bring players and bring in the best players if you have a system where you go suit them. See? And what I am saying from the point that I made is there is a system that suits majority of our players that we are not using. So we have to raise questions about that. Majority of the players in our team, especially from midfield to backline, are accustomed and more comfortable in playing in our back three-man midfield, two up top with wing backs. But Jamaica don't play that. The last time I see Jamaica really play that was the last World Cup qualifier campaign where we have to switch up with structure, right? Where we end up win 2-1 down, I must say, El Salvador, where Kemar Roof and Fisher score. And the last time that Jamaica played the system then, apart from that, to be a 4 back where it just not working. See? That is my point. You see, if we never did have a system where all of the players are accustomed to, then you could have said, But there is a system that majority of our players are accustomed to that we are not using in the name of fitting the best players in the team instead of fitting the right players in the right system. And that is my point. First, what you have to say about that? That the boy press are gone. Let me get some comments. Patrick Riley has a negative for other countries been doing it. But there are professional players. What do you mean by that, Carlington Grant? What's the point you're trying to make it that they are professional players? They are professional players, so they should be able to fit into any system. Expound upon that for me. The way you're trying to get to in that regard.
Oh, man.
Jason, no chemistry. Big up yourself, Owen. Jason, structure. No chemistry or structure. And chemistry comes from relationships on the pitch, right? That is where chemistry comes from. But it also comes from a system where you have to build those relationships from. And that brings me back to my point. Majority of the players in our team from midfield to backline are accustomed to a system and are comfortable in a system that we are not using, right? And that is the reason why we have this downfall, brother. Because players will come up in an environment where we don't know. If we are bringing one more players from England to play Concacaf, you have to understand that there has to be a bedding in period. European football different from Concacaf football, brother. No matter which way you want to make it. See? So we have to find some way to make it an easy transition for these players. And how easy is it going to be other than a system? And it's a hard thing to do because you can't look on youth football right now because we want to make the next World Cup. I understand the case with youth football, and we need to get a system and have players playing together where we can bring up for the future. But we are talking about 2026 World Cup. That's at the aim now, which is what I also did mention at the speed interview, right? We understand say you need to develop this and you need to do this and you need to do that for the betterment of football in the future. But I say hire the coach to get with the World Cup now, so what are going to do in that regard to get with the World Cup? We need to find something that works. And the only way you can do that is the system. You can't, we have done it, we have seen it, we say it all the time. And we see it in the last. You bring one bag of players and you fling them in together. We're good. We had the best of the best. We even had the best young talent back then with Maggie. Them time the Maggie did actually better than when we see Maggie play now as a young talent. See? And you're mixing Maggie with them best players that you have at the time that were diaspora players. And it not bring me nowhere. See? It not bring me nowhere at all, bro. So at some point, we have to sacrifice this best player talk. And obviously, you want your best players, but your best players have to find out a way to fit in our best system, brother. As some see it now. But since person Gunnaz boss really wants to nothing else, so good have to end the show. Right now, man, I'm hungry na you. I'm gonna share food from mine, brother. I have to get some food. You see me? First, I have a final thought, people. Smash up the like button before we end the show. If nobody want to call in, I drop the link. When you can call in, I will get some final thoughts. In the meantime, people, when you just smash up the like button, it not look good. Let me see how much likes we have so far. Anybody will just come big up on yourself when you can go watch over. Alright. CC, you can join. The link there in the comment section. See how much likes we have, bro. Because this is unacceptable, bro. So much on the camera on the stream and not like the video, bro. You see me? 70 likes. People, give me 200 likes, bro. If you're there on the stream and I like the video, yeah, man, good work. But see it go. Big up on yourself. See the link in the comment section and you say you have something to say. Get some comments. CC said it's still active. Yeah, we're still live. We're still drop out still, so hurry up and click the link if you want to talk. Big up yourself, Trayvon. Big up yourself, Jagans. Or if I saw it pronounced. Errol, big up yourself as well. As a Manchester United fan, always a support. Big up, big up. Carlington Grant, big up yourself as well. CC, may I give you 30 seconds, bro? We're going to end the show now. I look like the boy press are gone. Up.
Yo, CC, what's CC there?
Like CC, I don't know where him gone, bro. The man say him have something to say, but I don't see him as yet. Come on, you can always watch over. We're done right now still. John. No, you.
I don't understand what Gunnaz boss I said, but Gunnaz boss.
When I get Gunnaz boss either, bro. When I get it.
Not because,
man. Which part? Me there listen no chat me now. Which part?
There's so many players that is in like there's so many players in England, right? And I know all of them are going to play for the England national team. It doesn't mean that they're not quality. Because you look on Ivan Toney, for example. You have so many strikers, like the two main striker, Ali Watkins and Harry Kane, for example. You don't need to, You have to say only for Jamaica if you can play for Jamaica.
Me never hold that discussion, if you listen when me say you would even say that, Hear what I said again. Let me repeat myself. I said I want the best players from across the diaspora mixed with the best local players we have to form a national team. I don't have a problem with them, but I am just asking. The Premier League is great. Why? Because they have enough money to import the best players from across the world to come and play into that league and make it prestigious and look good. But England by themselves, not that great at football. Why? We consistently go into England only and mostly for players when we have players and people, Jamaican people, every walks of life you go on earth, you can find Jamaican people. Why only England? We rate England
because it's not only England, it's a league that they're in. If you're going to other parts of Europe, right? If you're going to other parts of Europe, which other part of Europe you go find Jamaican players who play at a higher level than England? It's a level where they play at.
Hold up. Who are the superstar Premier League players we getting out of England? We are playing in an English Premier League. I play for Jamaica, representing Jamaica.
We are get championship players, but even championship level, championship as a second tier league, still higher than only for the top tier, the first tier leagues in Europe. We don't have the top 5 leagues, but the rest of the bottom tier, then championship as a league and as a second tier league is still higher rated than a whole lot of other countries' top leagues or first leagues. So realistically speaking, you just talk like, can you not give me real examples? Which player out there in Europe or other European countries or in the USA, right? You can tell me, come from Jamaica, what we can go for, what we not see. And that more here, because majority of Jamaicans, either them there in Serbia, or them there in Iceland, or them there in US, or diaspora players like the England, but
Panama, Cuba, Haiti,
name me a player.
Dominican Republic, the whole world with it. I'm just
name me a player.
Why? How I can give you a player when we're not looking?
Say, if you can't give me a player, I'm here
the scout. I bet you.
No, but you can't make a point if you're not sure of if there's even a player in a Panama for we play for Jamaica. We can play for Jamaica. You don't even know if a player in Panama can play for Jamaica. So all you have to say Panama is one of the countries. You have to give me some tangible where we can hold on and say,
You're tangible. You're tangible now. Here we go glue down that now. For the mere fact say, I've been to Panama. And there's a big Jamaican population in Panama from way back in the days. That is why you should look in Panama also, not just look at England. I never tell you say one great player over there. No, I'm just saying why we only looking in England.
So all you know is
in other countries.
All you know is them now look. Suppose them look and them not find nobody we can make it.
I thought me never hear you say nothing else. Up here England.
We now look. We are not scouts. We need to speak Spanish to read that Spanish. Isn't it?
The the microphone. Can you just stick your foot in your mouth by telling me to be a scout? Me don't know football, But me if you go be a scout and you are football guru and big journalist, nah.
Me nah look at Panama, bro. I hear point that, so go and go pick up feed. Me nah look at Panama.
Our worldwide with the Panama, we want the best players that we can plug in and play because there's no time and place for no system. What what I was saying when I muted earlier is the reason why the Brazilian them and these people are so great at the football is because the majority of them young players develop into their system, and that's why they have a system. Them now have them produce and push out. You understand me? So you can bring in back when you're ready. We don't have that the kind of quality they produce and push out and bring in back because we don't
Brazil have a system now still.
Huh?
Brazil now have a system. Brazil's system was Neymar, and ever since Neymar gone, Brazil look like damn shit. Them burn me for them, see that.
Neymar a forward back, man. Neymar a forward back. So
all right, me I'll mute you now. I make CC take your mic. Me there still, but me I'll mute my mic. So
talk a phone. We go and go mute mic. Talk a phone me I use. But what I say is, yeah. So Gunnaz boss, yeah, Gunnaz, you're right too, bro. In terms of this what we have been doing year after year after year and campaign after campaign, I have always said that they need to they have a sufferation period where if we develop a set of players and then we suffer through not qualifying for any tournament for like a decade, then after that phase now we'd have a crop of players that we could build on qualification in terms of qualifying rather than to have nothing and bring people into. It's like we have nothing and we are bringing people into nothing rather than having a foundation and bringing people into the foundation. So I think that's one of the things that we are lacking right now. Jamaica doesn't have a foundation that you can grow upon in terms of if we go get 5 ballers from England, what are they really coming into? So the mismatch in terms of quality, the drop off between the best player and the average player in the national team is too far a gap. And I think they have to revitalize the program overall and then look at it and say, oh, we really need to develop something from the youth stage, go the youth stage up before we even consider him the senior team. I don't know if you remember that something team there. I think it is
Belgium.
No, man, not even Belgium. Recently, the Switzerland team. Remember the Switzerland team that won the Youth World Cup? I think it was 2009 with Shaqiri and those guys. That was the team that matriculated.
Jamaica did play them one time too with Xhaka.
Yeah, so that is the team that ended up matriculating. I think Switzerland beat Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, in that final. Or one of those teams in that youth final. That was the team that ended up coming through the ranks and ended up as the senior team that qualified for those multiple World Cups back to back, up till now.
I think the difference though is with Jamaica is a ticking time bomb. One, we don't have the resources to have that type of patience. And if we are to have that type of patience without the resources, it not gonna be like them bigger team the way it take them 10 years. It might take we a generation, which is 30 years, right? So I think those are some of the things that will make it difficult for those in the higher positions to look into it and say, if we do it, I'm not say them not to do it, But what we have figured is that Switzerland are one of the richest countries. Belgium have resources. These clubs have planning, they have resources, they have the support as well. Then I think them Switzerland and them type of fans they are like Jamaica fans where them not supportive. Well, Jamaicans are waganists. They have to see something. Zine? So without the real support, remember they are fans bring football. Without the real support from the fans, without the resources, without all of those things in our favor for Jamaica, it now go as straightforward or black and white as Belgium might do it.
I know the next thing to Gunnaz, I think the number one thing, and people don't like this opinion, but you see the National League should be geared towards improving the national team. The National League should be geared towards we are going to say, we are training these players to represent the national team. Yes, we want the player them get sold and everything, but me feel like if I'm running a club in the National League, the standard that I'm trying to set for my players is to have my player play for the national team. And I think with that standard, for example, when they look at the players in England, when they want to switch allegiance, you see certain players that make it look like this club, I can tell them, say, oh, they're basically pushing the player to play for England. Each of the club them that is in the English Premier League wants their player to play for England. If you even
but again, look at this point now. That is where resources come in. As Jamaica be a country when they have the resources, the club them no want them club them the business but pushing the player for play for Jamaica. The clubs them business were pushing them players to run and go out in other leagues. Those leagues are well prepared and well equipped for them to say, them players them can easily make the national team. But Jamaica League, they're so far away. I'm gonna know how we're gonna bridge that gap to get to that level. The club's their main priority right now is to make money and make a return on them investment. But they must spend whole heap of money on players and to be in this league. And them now see what them returns there. The only way them see what those returns is if them sell a player abroad and get money. Right? So I don't think the aim of the clubs in the league is that, and I don't think it can be that for a man to invest in money so much. A man I look forget return on him investment, which is to sell players.
No, but look on it, Gunnaz. Some of these clubs aren't. I'm gonna put it like some of these clubs we don't know the ownership structure. For example, Arnold Gardens, who own the club really? Who own it? Really own it?
Then the chairman, them man, they have Mr. Omar Davis, where did the chairman and run that.
But I'm saying, that is, but man, so when that's what I say when we look into it. Yes, it's a business, and you should think that they're in it for a profit. But if you have a politician who is the chairman of the club, what is the aim of the club? Is it to be run as a profit organization, or is it that any chairman, any person who is within that party who just comes in and take it over?
I can answer that because remember we did interview Omar Davis and we did talk about that. People who can go watch the interview there for the people when new. Just go into the playlist section, go on exclusive interviews, and then they can watch a 40-minute interview with me and Omar Davis. And in basically the politicians, them aim isn't really profit because them rich, me I tell you. Them aim is peace. And them see football as an avenue for that peace in the communities. As some see it. You see me? Yeah, bro. The main aim to me are not really football or monetarily. For peace in the communities. And them see football as an avenue to that.
So then if that's the case then, Gunnaz, then I think there's a situation where they could develop players that you want to get them up to a standard to play to have them to a level can play for the national team.
And I agree with you. What you say is the right way to go about it. But for the third world country, brother, where every man is a dog eat dog and every man just look for them pockets, bro, it's hard to see how
what I think we should do.
Selfless to make those decisions.
This is what I think we should do. And a lot of people are not going to like this. We should have a single entity model similar to what is happening with the MLS in America. Single entity model, one which, when you look on it, each team basically they have a franchise system where you have to have a certain amount of capital to own a franchise. Single entity model, everybody is a member right now, like we have the PFJL. I think you still probably can use demotion and promotion similarly, but in the way in which it is done, when a player is sold, the player is both contracted to the club and the player is contracted to the league. If you get the message, so when a player is sold, it benefits the league as well as it benefits the club. Like if you never go say a percentage and say, here what we're going to do. When a player is sold, we have a common ground. How them are going to work it out in terms of revenue split or revenue sharing. I just think they need to find out a way in which they can allow for all of the clubs. Remember saying that every club can go a Concacaf Champions Cup, and every club probably can sell a player. But if you do an approach where you have clubs who are making money, and then the clubs who are making money supplement clubs in the league in terms of to make sure everybody is making money or everybody is sustainable to a certain level. I think that makes it better because then it will improve the competition, it will improve the football facility, everything is going to improve. Rather than, as I said, dog eat dog, and we know that in a small economy, imagine US has this large economy, but you know what the US realized? You have NBA, you have NFL, you have baseball, and those are franchise model. When they brought in soccer, they could have brought in it the way in which everybody else are doing it, but they knew that they couldn't survive doing it that way. So they use a method of the single entity model. But I think a lot of people, they don't want to hear that because they're saying that they want society drop out, they want society come up,
They want to see, all of those things happening. But for me, we have to look into it to say some of the teams that comes up, Gunnaz, they're not even look ready. It's almost like say, them teams shouldn't be in the league.
No, man, you can't style them. Look on racing a top 6 challenger. You can't discuss.
No, I'm not dismissing it. What I'm saying is we still have to find a way to have the promotion and the demotion. But I think we want it in a way where, like, put it like this, like how the Premier League is set up. But we want it in a way where the Premier League have it, but the Premier League not have it. The Premier League revenue is shared amongst the Premier League teams. Right? And if a team get demoted, them got parachute payment for 3 seasons. You understand? So it helps that team even if that team if come back up. But we have to find a way in which we can generate enough revenue for all of the teams in the league.
Foreign investors.
And then as I said, because the people don't love the football, because money
exactly, bro. Because without the fans, bro, Jamaican people, the wagonist culture and help. Because fans is what bring football. You see if stadiums, I'm telling you, I'm in a sales too. You see if stadiums pack, more, and every game just out of the love, I'm more likely to see it outside as a foreigner and say, yo, I'm going to invest in the league, bro. I'm invest in one club. And he might have a couple friends. Just look on the USA model in the Premier League. The whole of them USA one of their friends, See, they are rich men with egos who have money for splash. And them do this not just, them do this for the ego. Them do this for the success, say, yo, them can have this to them name or attached to them. See? But them have to see something worth spending their money on. Jamaican people are organized, brother. You go on JPL match. Look how much people are ball for JPL players in our national team. And when JPL go play the other day, JPL players are the man them now get match, brother. You see me? The same people them wear balls, them want local baller, and them are full up stadium when we are play against USA. And when them here say Isaac then come and them here say big baller them from England come. And them think
say somebody said something one day and I tell me say if they want to talk when they carry the ball them from England and I say if we don't want to go stadium go to ball them from England and that's the thing man say brother Jamaica me go watch you're going like a Chelsea me watch and Barcelona Real Madrid. Yeah, make you look. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you watch Jamaica, it's almost as if they must say, "Yo, we must sacrifice Jamaica because we want to see." For example, Messi. Say if Messi could play for Jamaica, Messi say, "Yeah, man, anything we do, roll out the red carpet." But me say when they look into it, we're not supporting the local football to the level where the local football can improve.
Bro, Jamaica need to have a chant no more. I remember my father look for me and tell me, say, brother, in a 98 campaign, brother. One time they used to have vibes in our stadium, brother. All if Jamaica pass ball here, they must say 1. Then when the second pass here, they must say 2. And that does build vibes in our stadium. The side and knock ball with confidence. And you see me? That's not about no more, bro. Me, I'll try to when me there, brother, and people look at me like a madman, brother, when me there. You see me? In our stadium. Brother, everybody just in a them cage.
Look at Walter Boy. When you grow up, how big Walter Boy is in Jamaica. That's what I say. Oh, big enough for the ball of them will play locally in Jamaica.
So not about no more, man.
I'm on, if you go right now and say, oh, busy Campbell, then more busy Campbell, busy Atkinson. I want to say, they are rocks that, man, rocks that. It's like the people, their mindset now, bro, not have nothing to do with Jamaica. It's like their mindset is just overseas. I mean, I say, oh, we don't want to play them and play for diaspora. The people are eligible to come play for Jamaica. But their mindset, Gunnaz, is not like one time. As I say, years ago, a man see a baller playing in the Jamaica Premier League, he rate the baller. And you know, so the baller, everywhere you turn in Jamaica, everybody know the baller. You understand what I'm saying? Now, a player play for Jamaica one day, a man say, who that player there? Who this player? Who that player? So nobody knows anybody. It's like almost like you them play in vain. It's almost like they're playing behind one curtain. And nobody now say, oh, move the curtain to see who really run their play. That's how it come off, you know. As I said, JPL play every weekend, and you don't have nobody really can say. You probably just have to get up people them. And just get up people them support football. Because
Grand Sports, we don't rate the local man them no more, brother. We don't rate them really and truly. Because we not show up and match them. We have bomb sports. Just finish up CC and we'll get on bomb sports.
Yeah. So we just finish up. Yeah, man, for choose, bro. We don't rate the youth them and the youth them a play. And it's like we not give them the energy there to say, yo, we want to see you if you go do greatness and see you get better and improve and so when you get the opportunity, we not push out that, bro. And I think that is one of the things that we kind of make the football locally now rise to the level that we would want it to rise to. Because if you're not supporting something, it now gonna come up to the level you want it. But big up yourself, sir.
Yeah, man. Brian, you can unmute. Bomb.
Brian might join the show.
Yeah, Brian. You're on, fam. You're on mute. We get some comments in the meanwhile. Like a dog left your phone. Jagarn says Jamaica don't have a footballing culture like the South American countries. And it's not only South American. Bomb sports, you on,
Yeah, man, I'm on. You know, hear me, bro?
We are here, Go through.
Yeah, man, me I say, yo, big up to the people, brother. Gunnaz boss, big up. Yo, big up Dicanio, brother. Yo, say that point there, in terms of saying people JPL games, I'm not gonna say the support is massive, but I mean some clubs have more support than others for varying reasons. But I would say we have a good, in terms of, I would say we have a good support of the player. I mean, it's just I would say maybe the people live over.
Yeah, break up there. Yeah, break up, bro. No, hear you at all. Gunnaz, boss, you hear him?
No problem. I'm being scrappy.
Yeah, scrap out the bomb. We don't hear you.
But I'm look like him a driver. I'm in a very windy situation.
I'm gonna get some more comments till him fix up that. Errol Shield say Greenwood gonna bring a breath of fresh air and the whole of Jamaica or the whole Jamaica team will step up, including the youths upcoming for the future. I'm not saying he's the greatest, but he is a great player for the team. Yeah, man, 100%. And what he's gonna do too is he's gonna bring more quality diaspora players as well, which is where Fearless gonna say. Him say more see the best possible no matter where they come from. There are better players out there than what we are bringing now that can represent us. For example, a Reece Nelson for Arsenal, a Dwight McNeil for when they know Everton. You have Ben Godfrey where you got the Everton to but in the Atalanta now. But I'm thinking come back to England. I remember when they see. So you have the top quality players in they out there, but them just not attracted yet. So hopefully what a Macy Greenwood standing can do or bringing him in can do is attract the rest of those players that are similar at his level instead of the championship level player. Then. Let me get on Bam now. I look like him joined from somewhere else. 1 second. Go through Bam.
Yeah, bro. Everything good now?
Yeah, we are here better now.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, further to your point about Greenwood signing, I think that will help to raise the profile of national team. And I mean, even appeal to more players who are, out there in the diaspora, not just England, but wherever. That Jamaica is a viable option. I mean, we started talking with when Mikel Antonio came, and then Damari Gray came after, and other players forward. So I think Mesa coming too will help in that regard. And yo, bro, I'm all for more quality players. I mean, the more quality players we have to pick from, I think the better our squad will be. And I mean, more eyes will be on Jamaica as a footballing nation, and it will also help our players locally too. When people start to look at us as a footballing nation, they may be inclined to want to bring players from Jamaica into their leagues and into their clubs and stuff. And me just think it's a lot of upside to it. I mean, a lot of people don't want Greenwood in the team, not because of his footballing acumen or not, just because of the other personal things that come with it. And you know, you have to understand it too, and understand say how we are as a people. And sometimes some things we take a little bit of getting used to for most people. Some people take longer for, you know, accept certain things and move on. You see me? But more hoping forward. I hope who are all who's involved, you know, if it start out documents, them will do it. And yeah, we can forward and long may you have a 10-year plus international career with Jamaica. I mean, that would be a good thing.
I think the most important thing, I want to get your point on the JPL thing where did I say before. But sticking to Greenwood, but I think the most important thing is also to attract the player them younger. Remember, you know, Greenwood at 23-year-old, you know. Getting in a 23-year-old Greenwood is way significant as opposed to getting in a 29 or a 30-year-old Mikel Antonio. This is a player that is not even in his prime as yet, but is still a quality player, above average, coming to represent Jamaica. He might attract younger players as well. They might go see that as a viable option. So, yeah, man, we just need to see that, bro, because it's not only him, but what an impact he is going to have. Stadiums are actually full. Just generally, bro, Jamaica will depend on the map more because he's talked about in England, even though he's not representing England, even though he's not playing in England. There's always a Mason Greenwood article, right? Because even though, just like how there's always a Ravel Marson article, people always talk about Ravel Marson, even in and around the game as it anymore. That is what being a Manchester United star boy does for you. That carry you through the entirety of your career, right? And the fact that he is opposite to Ravel Marson in that he's performing at a higher level, more consistently throughout his career. It only going to bode well for Jamaica. So if you're still there, but maybe hear your final thoughts on the JPL thing we did talk about before, with the fans and them things.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so I mean, as it relates to the JPL, like me say, bro, I think the fan base is growing. It could be a lot better. I mean, because there are some games where you see, but the turnout is kind of woeful. But again, I think that come down to the clubs them too. I think the clubs them have to do a better job at marketing their product to their fans and trying to, you know, because quite frankly, I don't think a lot of the clubs have been doing as much as they should to attract fans or to attract people to their product. Because really and truly, their home games and the players and whatever they have is their product. And I just think that they have to do a better job of selling their product. I mean, the players have a part to play too, but I mean, the entire organization, I think the JPL has done a good job in terms of, you know, bringing highlight to the league. I mean, maybe they could do more, but I just think the clubs and a whole have to take more responsibility in terms of trying to sell their product to the mass, you know, a lot more. And I think once the clubs them do that, because if you even look at it, is in recent times, I mean, you see clubs building out them social media and stuff. Those are far away. I mean, I think some clubs can really do better. I mean, employ graphic designers or people who can manage the social media and the content creating, because, bro, them things are important, bro. I mean, if you have a good product and nobody knows about a good product, then it'll just stay with you. And I think the clubs them can take more advantage of the social media and, you know, YouTube and all those other platforms for sell them players them more and make people be more aware and, you know, do things to engage them fans, you know, because I think coming out to JPL games, I mean, generally people want more than just come and watch 90 minutes of football, bro. Like them want the excitement, them want the engagement, you know, them. I mean, a couple years ago, me see movie when they used to play at Westport Park, them used to have like almost like a little go-kart area where people used to come out. So like much after 3 o'clock, and people come out from like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, bro, and drive go-kart with them kids, and you know, eventually them go watch football after. So I think more of them engagement, them see more present do it too, where them have frequent promotions and, you know, merchandising and them stuff there, make people feel like a part. Yeah, I think once the clubs them kind of improve on that, you know, the fan base will be better at games, at least.
Since me have here and you're a JPL supporter or mainly a JPL content creator, what do you think about the league so far in respect to the relegation zone and the Veer United and the Humble Lion? You think none of them can stay up?
Yeah, bro, it's gonna be let me tell you, it's gonna be really tough. I think the relegation battle, like I told people before, um, is gonna be between the three Clarendon teams, and I I had inserted Mullins United in there. Even though they are in 10th now and they got a win.
They must can grind out some results.
I think one of the reasons why I had them there was because of the goal concession. Like, bro, I think Mullins conceded like 51 goals in the Premier League, bro.
At the start of the season, it started shaky for real.
Yeah, but it's not just that. I mean, when you're conceding so much goals, it's always going to be difficult to get results, unless except when you play teams in your category. So like they play Veer last match day, the game end 3-2. I mean, Veer is the worst defensive team in the Premier League. So you could see how them getting 3 goals against Veer could work. But let's say, for example, they come up against a Mount Pleasant or Arnett Gardens or a Tivoli or one of those other teams who is defensively a better team. It's not every day you're going to consistently be able to score 3 goals, and they are not the most prolific goal scoring team either. So that's the reason why I was thinking if it's going to be close, I expected them to be apart. I mean, but and even so, Humble Lion won. I mean, at home to Tivoli. I think playing at Effortville is not easy as people think, even though Humble Lion is on poor form. But when they play at Effortville, similar to when Tivoli play at Edward Saga Sports Complex, or when Dunby Holding plays at Dunbolding Sports Complex, it's not easy to go there and win and get 3 points. So I think those teams have that advantage. To be honest, Humble Lion, I think, have a decent squad of players that can get the job done. And they also have the red hot Steve Barnett. I think he's probably the hottest striker in the Premier League now. I mean, he was at Portmore United, didn't score a single goal in about maybe 9 or 10 appearances. However, he's got the Humble Lion and he has had 9 goals in 10 games, along with a few assists as well. So, they have a man that can put the ball in the back of the net. So it's just a matter of them to be able to keep clean sheets. And like I said, even though Humble Lion is way down there, they have not conceded the most goals. Teams above them have conceded more goals. So the fact that they find somebody now that can score goals, I mean, it's looking like they could pull off the great escape. But at this point, I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably a little bit too much for them at this point. Even though they are doing well.
Humble Lion. Well,
yeah. And to be honest, even when they got, I think they got 5-1 or 5-2 from Arnett Gardens early in the second round. But they really played well and competed throughout the game. It's just that they gave up 5 goals. I saw them against my Lions when they lost 2-1. I thought they should have won that game. Against Portmore, they lost again. I actually thought that they played really, really well in that game and should have come away with a point. But sometimes it's just
the momentum seems to be going in our Humble Lion's way as well. They seem like a grounded team that they weren't giving up. I remember they were rooted at the bottom and people wrote them off, and right now they're just 1 point behind Chapelton.
So I mean, they have moved from the foot of the table. I mean, which is always a positive sign. That spot is occupied by Veer. I think this weekend matchup is really going to tell which one of these teams is going to get relegated, because Humble Lion will travel to Veer this weekend. So that should be an interesting game. I think the first encounter ended in a 1-1 draw, and then Humble Lion lost to Veer at Effortville. So, I mean, and there a 1 point separates them, 2 Clarendon teams. It's really, really going to be interesting. I think at the end of this game, whoever gets the 3 points is gonna put them in a good position to probably avoid the drop. Chapelton is one of those teams too that I think they on some days they look like a really good team, and then the next day they just look like a team that you're wondering what's going on. I mean, they brought in some young players. Dunstan Cohen, who was at Veer, he's back from injury now and started to play. I mean, they have Orel Miller, who is from Glenmuir, who was recently a part of the under 17 team. I saw Murray, the goalkeeper that was in the under 17 camp. I saw him around the team too, so he could possibly be joining them. But I mean, and they have quite a few Clarendon High School players. I mean, players from in the Clarendon region. That's where they are building their nucleus. But I mean, they got 5-0 last night from Arnett Gardens. Wasn't a good showing by them. But I mean, Arnett Gardens is really, really a tough team in the jungle when they have the 12 man. So I won't beat them too hard. But it's gonna be really, really interesting. I mean, they also made a coaching adjustment in the January period too as well.
If you have the time, though. If you have the time, I want to ask you 2 more questions. All right, cool. So one regarding the top 6, and the other one regarding. So maybe we tackle the Arnett Garden, because Arnett Garden play when last night. Them dismantle Chapel. One thing never sit right to me though was the fact that the home team was playing. Technically, a Chapelton, Arnett Garden is them home ground, right? But it just never sit right to me. Say them a play a home game basically away from home. You get me? Like, well, I mean, understand them home ground, but certainly if you want to be a professional league, there's no professional league in the world where the away team has an home advantage. And I think that needs to be addressed. Someone, go through.
Yeah, definitely agree with you, bro. I think the clubs need to really put the proper infrastructure in place, ensure that they have home advantage. I'm definitely thinking if Shepparton were able to play more games in Clarendon, probably the table would have looked a lot different, because quite a few of these teams that are from Kingston, they don't really travel well. I mean, when they have to come out of the Kingston region, they sometimes are open to defeats and to poor performances. So I really think if Shepparton were able to play games in Clarendon, it would have been a really different thing. I mean, I'm trying to think of where in Clarendon they could have played, because I mean, it's possible. I was thinking sometime that they could have used Glenmuir.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They had the choice to use Glenmuir.
But I was told that Glenmuir doesn't have any stands. I've never been to Glenmuir field, but I was told they don't have any stands. So I guess that's one of the reasons why that venue probably would not be approved for Premier League. But I think they really need to put things in place and ensure that they can play at home, because in the Premier League, based on how competitive it is at times, sometimes having that home advantage really is the difference between you getting 3 points and a 5-0. So, I mean, yeah, they need to work on that. But as it relates to Arnett Gardens, I think in the last couple of weeks, Arnett Gardens have been doing really well. Also thought that Arnett Gardens had a really good transfer window in terms of they brought in Ricardo Thomas from Dunby Holding. I mean, the national player who was the captain of Dunby Holding, and they were able to get him on a basically like a free transfer, which was good because he's a really good quality wing back. They also brought in a goalkeeper, Tyrone Williams, who was at Portmore United. Really one of the better goalkeepers in the Jamaica Premier League. I mean, since he's been there, 4 clean sheets in a row, which tells you how he has impacted the club in a positive way. And you know, Warner Brown is there in red hot form now, 16 goals in the Premier League. Fabian Reid also got a few goals last night and also scored in the previous match week. And I just think that Arnett Gardens is really looking good, looking sharp. Also, in the January window, they brought in Jeremy Nelson from Mullines as a midfielder. He's really added some quality to their squad. I mean, last night off the bench. So, I mean, things are rounding up for them really good. And they have a few young players who are playing as well and putting in good shifts. So, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, I mean, sometimes just a transfer window can allow you to fix and bring in certain players that can add some quality. And the Arnett Gardens team is looking like a real tighter contenders now.
And the final thing as well I want to talk about, because what Burn me this season is that the two on my side, them a fight for the final spot in the top 6, in my opinion, which is Waterhouse and Racing. Now, Racing have the momentum, and Waterhouse have been struggling. Which one of these two you really feel are going to make the top 6? Or you think both of them are gonna make it and maybe Portmore go fall?
I'm struggling to see both of them making it. They should have played in the last match day, which was, postponed. Which should have been really good. I think Waterhouse's problem right now is they are without their captain and goalkeeper, Kemar Foster. He had a broken finger, which he should have recovered from in like 4 weeks. I recently found out that the finger wasn't healing and he had to do a surgery. So he's going to be out for a longer period. And I mean, kudos to Akim Bernard. I mean, former Mona High School Manning Cup goalkeeper was really coming and held his own. But the truth is, Waterhouse is just a different team when Kemar Foster is there. He brings a great level of leadership and organization. And he is arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the Jamaica Premier League. And when he's in the goal, I just think the Waterhouse team plays a lot better. The players trust him a whole lot more. And I just think that since he's been out, they have been struggling. I mean, they've gotten some wins. I think they got 2 wins on the trot recently when they defeated Portmore at home. I think they won the week before. But, you can see the effect that not having him in the team has. And it's going to be a real struggle for them to see how they can accumulate points. This weekend, they should be hosting Cavaliers, who may be otherwise focused. And they probably would have maybe a little easier run, given where Cavalier is at right now. Racing, since Captain Markovich Brown has been back, they have gone 10 games without defeat, which is really, really good. I mean, and they have been keeping some clean sheets as well. Similar to Kemar Foster, I think Markovich Brown has a real impact on the team. And when he's there, his leadership qualities really show. And these are really, really good.
And many people, not to cut you, but many people know saying was a winger, Marco is a winger.
Yeah, when he was at St. Catherine. Yeah.
And them translate the man into a centre back in the last part of tier 2. You see me?
Yeah, but
last part of tier 2, them transfer him to a centre back.
Yeah, but he's been doing really well. And I mean, the racing team too is doing well. I mean, the young players that Anthony Patrick has brought in have really come to the fore and been stamping their class. I mean, they have Damien Smith from Kingston College, Stevan Spence from Froome, Tajay Grant came in the January window and he's been doing really well. I think Biggs is out with an injury now, but it's almost as if they don't really miss him. They had brought in a striker in January, former Exeter High School Manning Cup player Damoni Hutchinson. He played 4 games, but he has left. He's signed a contract with New England Revolution in the MLS. So he's going to be playing for the MLS Next Pro team. So he's gone. So that's a tough loss for them. But I mean, really and truly, I think racing team has quite a few young players. And one of the things they get with young players in this Premier League, they are fearless and they fear no one, and they want to always to go out there and to show their class and to make a name for themselves. And that can be a scary thing, especially if they're in an environment which, Anthony Patrick seems like he's been able to keep them grounded and working hard. I mean, even his St. Catherine High School goalkeeper played yesterday, had a really good game. Didn't look as if he was new or afraid of the league. He really commanded his box well and did well. So, I mean, at this point, I would say if Kemar Foster is out for any longer, I'm gonna pick Racing to tip Waterhouse and get a top 6 spot. In fact, they are only separated now by a goal difference. So, Racing, and like I said, Racing has the momentum now and they are in good form. I think since the start of the second round, outside of Mount Pleasant, Racing has been the most consistent team. And it would take something really drastic for me to see that form go away. So I'm thinking they have a real good chance of sneaking into the top 6.
And I think in the name of the playoffs, both of them on my side, but to be very honest, we'll see what else in the playoffs couple season now, and it come like a waste, to be honest. So it would have refreshing for Racing as a newly promoted team, fearless, of bashing at the midfield, of those wingers, especially if Ronaldo Biggs is back. I think there would be a threat, especially in one-off games, there would be a threat in those playoffs. So, yeah, man, more off serious in Richie, maybe not gonna like hear this kind of couple ball I want us now, but
yeah, man, Richard couple ball and Racing too, so
yeah, man, Messi Yeah, for real, for true. So him win anyway. But yeah, but kind of tired of no still. So whoever don't know the show, big up yourself, Brian.
Come on, bro. Yeah, man. Heart of love, man. And respect for the ad, man. You see it. You don't know, brother. Yo, love. People, make sure you like up the stream, you know.
Big up,
Yeah,
big up.
man, bro. Blessings.
That's where I work from. So people, I never do a live for 3 hours straight ever. So guys, you just can give me I work the whole week, you know. I literally work the entire week, people. You see me? And people wanna know I'm working at sales. You see me? So it's a tough and competitive market, bro. So I'm tired. I'm gonna shell the food from there. My live from 5 and 8 p.m. So I'm gonna just go ahead and smash the like button if you don't want to reward me for the work. That will definitely help. Smash that like button, share with your friend. Maybe if them tired, them can watch. Or if them want easy but them can watch the episode. It was a good episode. See? So yeah, man, also subscribe. We want to get to 4,000 subscribers. We'll start off the show at 3,889 or with 3,896. So if you can get me to 3,900, that would have good for campaign to the 4,000. So big up on yourself, people. Big up yourself, Gunnaz boss again. Always a nice conversation, even though we don't always agree. But yeah, man, people, massive respect, massive ratings. And yeah, send us a super chat if you would also like to, if you feel kind. And big up on yourself, people. Big up, big up. Massive respect. I'm out.